luckily prevented yourselves from being arrested and extradited for basically international espionage, with the agreement that you would be joining a certain group of people whose job it was to take contracts and basically help people out that needed help. Along on your way up to the fortress city, with it would be a very beautiful dwarven name, but pretty much translates to Gate Town, so everybody just calls it Gate Town. You were waylaid by a group of orcs. You guys did handle them, dispatch them pretty quickly. Unfortunately, Pourquoi was taken down in the melee and lies bleeding out on the ground. So, Pourquoi, I want you to make a death saving throw for me to start the night out.
Jeez, that's how you ended the match?
Yeah.
Session? Fuck.
It was late. You're all tired. So was I. Alright, success. Alright. Anybody want to save Pourquoi?
Does anyone...
Oh, don't all jump up at once.
Yeah, I'll use one of my dying stones. That sounds like a good idea.
Alright, go ahead.
I don't know if there's a roll involved in that or...
Nope, you just go up, use it, and it basically casts the cantrip Spare the Dying.
Does that get him up or just...
What it would do is it stabilizes him, and you would technically, if in battle, have to wait a full round of combat to be able to heal him. But, 6 seconds go by, someone can heal him now if they want.
Let's just use a healing potion, I think.
Unfortunately, my new friend broke my only one on your armor, so...
I have one, so
Yeah.
I'll use a manufactured healing potion on him.
Alright, go ahead, I believe it's
D4.
plus 4.
5 HP.
5 HP, and I want to say... yeah, you come to consciousness, Pourquoi, and make a constitution saving throw for me. Oh, you snarf it, a little bit comes out of your nose, so you heal for 4. You lose the roll. So there you go.
Just to ask, I started hosting you on Twitch so I can see that you have stuff showing, but I don't actually see it on Roll20. I don't know if anybody else can see what you're showing.
What do you mean?
Are you showing a screen with the map?
Yeah.
I can't see that all.
Oh, his token's not on. It's black because of
Oh,
lighting.
yeah, you're not there yet, Malmore.
Oh, okay.
See, if you're not on the screen, you don't get to see anything with the new dynamic lighting.
Gotcha. All right.
On that note, as you're getting Pourquoi up, you hear a jingling in the distance, and Malmore has now caught up. You can drop, I'll drop your token on the screen, hold on. You run up Malmore, and in front of you, you see dead orcs everywhere, and your friend Shyla in that strange mask that Blackfeather mentioned, and your other masked friend on the ground with something little yucky spilling out of his mask right now.
Hey guys, what's up?
You've missed a lot, our monkish friend.
I don't know that I'm monkish. I am a monk.
The point still stands.
What's with the mask?
And with mentioning that, it seems to just fade off of Shyla's face as the danger has passed and doesn't seem to be any enemies around to combat.
Where did your mask go?
I don't. Hey, Shyla and Blackfeather. Shyla and Blackfeather, you are muted, by the by.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted.
Great.
We learned that was a sore subject in jail earlier.
So what's with your mask?
Yes.
Was I in jail? Guessing no.
You and Adventure were taken to the infirmary in the police department. You had left Adventure behind, who still had a bit of a fever. He did mumble that he would try to catch up with you guys as soon as he was able to go, but you were feeling much better this morning. And had missed them by a few hours before the medic had released you. You guys, if you remember, you did loot the bodies. Gold was distributed, and the only really piece of interest was a holy symbol on the orc, which looked like not a skull shape anybody recognized, with a crescent shape coming off the side. It was crafted out of wood.
A response on the mask.
I'm guessing Child is just ignoring you on this one. Or getting...
No, I'm sorry. I've answered 3 times.
Oh.
It's gone. It's fine.
Oh, alright. At this point, you guys can attempt to investigate anything more if you'd like to discern anything about your orcs, or you can choose to continue on to Gate Town. It is up to you.
Why don't we continue on?
Right.
I'll investigate.
Alright. Roll me an investigation. 9. They're orcs. They're dead.
There was nothing to see here, guys.
Alrighty. Alright. As you guys make your way up the mountain, unfortunately, even being mid to late fall as it is, if you all care to remember, it is the 24th of Redfall. Luckily it is clear today. It's not raining like it was the last couple days, so at least your trip up won't be too miserable. You find yourself cresting the hill to Gate Town. You see a city in front of you with a somewhat conical design as it twirls up this incline to a tower at the top. The tower appears to actually not be a traditional fortified structure, but actually be a dock for airships to come and go.
Do we see any?
There's one docked and one heading out. Just your basic, more run-of-the-mill fare. You know, more of a blimp holding it up with large propellers coming off the back. These are just your average kind of merchant scows. You know, nothing too pretty. At this point, the only person really familiar with Gate Town, of course, would be Uzra. You, of course, came through Gate Town on your way down, and as a kind of suburb of Servial, if you will, you've been in and out of there a few times.
Alright.
So...
I suppose I have a rough idea where we're going then, so I can lead the way.
Yep. You do know that the dwarven culture is very regimented, and they like their order. So you would assume that any guild of any repute in Gate Town would be located. Moment here, and I'll pull up my elementary school level map.
That's at least middle school. Come
yeah.
on. That's...
As I said, you can see the entrance gate to the city is here, and it goes through these different districts, and it winds up the hill all the way to the top. This dark pinkish building's near the spire, actually called the Spire of Descent, is where all the guild chapter houses exist. If there's a guild chapter house, it's there. So, you guys enter Servial, make your way up through Pewter District, through the Bronze District, the Rose Gold District, the Platinum District.
So many districts.
Yeah,
So
Sapphire, Rose Quartz, Emerald, and then finally up to the Ruby District, which is where the main guild hall is. Now, of course, you guys can, if you want to look around a little bit, you don't really have a tight timetable. They are just expecting you.
What time of day is it?
At this point, you guys left around 8 or 9 in the morning with the fight and the rest of the walk. I would say it's probably getting close to lunch.
You should probably find
Well-
Pourquoi a place to rest.
Yeah, let's find a tavern to start with.
Alright.
You know, I think I saw a cheap place at the bottom of the hill.
Actually, there is a tavern at the bottom of the hill. Let me pull
You up for that walk, Pourquoi? Let's go back down.
we can assume you guys didn't walk the whole way up.
Oh, okay.
Can you
We
at least
visually traced our way up. That's what we did.
You
at
guys
least go through the whole
actually
thing again? Like, just name the things as we go back down?
sure. No. All right, so you guys will head to, and you may be familiar, Uzra, but you know it's not right. You know you're not super familiar with the area, so you ask a gate guard for directions, and he sends you to the Wayward Traveler.
Fitting.
Wayward Traveler, and it's actually since we'll say you're coming into the town and didn't walk Pourquoi all the way up the town. It's located on the northern side here of the Pewter District.
Okay.
What do
I
we
think
restore
could
during a
work.
short rest?
Health doesn't restore, but you can spend hit dice to get your health back up. That's your healing naturally.
Plus,
So just roll your hit dice in it. Yeah.
uh,
Oh, yeah. So as you all sit down, you hear Pourquoi singing a little ditty to himself. And if anybody else would like to spend some hit dice, Altgrand, your little friend, is pretty heavily damaged. He will probably require you to perform the Find Familiar ritual again to rebuild his casing.
Yes, indeed.
so that's a. Okay. So that's 4 plus 4 plus 7.
That seems really useful.
And that actually technically counts for everybody. Anybody spending hit dice can add an additional,
D6.
yep, d6 to your healing.
When do we regain our hit die?
After a long rest, you get half of your total hit dice back.
That's what I like this.
All right, you all sit down to. I'm guessing, as always, a few drinks, coffee for Blackfeather at this point, and a lunch. So I would say each of you deduct. Let's just say you're having a bit of a lunch to chill. So 10 copper apiece. Just take 10 copper off. It's not a high end tavern. It's a working man's tavern down in the Pewter District.
How many silver per copper again?
Believe it is
I think the 100.
100 copper to a silver.
And then 10 silver to the gold.
Yep.
If I remember.
Pull that up. Money chart. Alright, I will leave you guys if you want to talk a few minutes. Do anything while you're having lunch before you continue on. Now is
We have a
the
waiter
time.
or a bartender.
You can flag down a barmaid or walk up to the bar.
I'd like to ask the barmaid, or
Yes, dear.
whoever it is, are there any shops that you would recommend adventurers checking out?
Well,
He's not here right now.
Not adventure. Adventurer.
oh, well, wait, you mean he's not here, lad? I mean, I'm talking to him right here.
I'm not talking to you. What are you talking to me for?
But he said adventurer, and you said he's not here, and I'm very confused.
Who's on first?
You guys walked right into that one. Well, I mean, here in Gatetown, I mean, it's mostly residences for people who can't afford Serbia itself and work the outlying districts. There are a few shops, your basic armorers here, basically anything someone who doesn't have a visa to be permitted into Serbia to be able to at least do some shopping. I mean, we're a pretty decent sized town. What are you looking for? And I can point you in the right direction.
I think we'll need to get some more potions.
Those are a little harder to come by up here. You can find them down in the city proper if you have the clearances to go down. You may have to apply for a passport if none of you have been here before.
What's my standing with Serbial proper?
You're
like
citizen. You're
yeah,
citizen.
okay. So
I mean,
I have no problem
No,
getting in.
I mean, you are the anarchist Uzra. I mean, you are somewhat well known by some officials,
but not like the general gatekeepers. You know.
Oh,
I would imagine.
you're not a criminal or anything.
Yeah, that's what I was just making sure.
You were allowed out of the city, and you did work openly and with a license with your father.
Okay.
So.
Well, does that apply? Can I like bring people with me?
You've never had to before. I guess we'll find out.
Guess we'll find out.
You know, our new standing with the group might allow us some more access to the town later.
That's true. We should probably see them before doing too much shopping. Maybe they get a discount.
That's true. We should talk about this mask. It keeps appearing on Shyla, and I'm getting creeped out. Is it like a disguise thing?
It's just...
I mean, you're not you're a magic user.
I was in the circus, okay? I was in the circus.
You use that in your act?
Yeah.
Oh, which
You
branch?
clown?
No.
Oh,
Guess what I did.
you wore masks, apparently.
And cast lots of fire. I just can't get rid of it. It's really bugging me, and it's just my costume.
Can't get rid of it, huh?
You know,
Can I make an insight check?
Insight check.
One of you can. Yeah. Well, since you both want to tell me specifically what you're trying to insight.
The general not knowing what it is, like.
Oh, you want to
Does that
see
make
if
sense?
you want to see if it's more than just a piece of her act, or
Well, more of does she have a better idea of what it is than what she's letting on?
sure, go ahead, roll an insight.
I don't.
It's a mask. It
Yeah.
sounds like she's kind of pissed about it. Yeah, it was from her act. She is
So
on the level.
I wanted to check specifically the fire casting, if the mask had anything to do with her magical skills.
That would be more of an Arcana check, and I would say it would be at disadvantage since it's not like you can really take a nice long look at the mask.
you guys are getting so personal.
Uzra, you okay? You're staring pretty hard at Shyla.
No, I'm just curious. Yeah.
Hair out of place?
Ooh, it's magic. It's
I think it's magic.
it's you're definitely going. You're sitting. I know magic, and that's some magic.
I was thinking the same thing. All
Shyla,
grand.
that's some magic.
Why, thank you.
All right.
Oh, I would like to spend some time messing with my newfound powers.
All right. What are you thinking of doing?
I need about an hour, and I want to summon my familiar.
Okay. You will need to gather some resources to do this.
Can you give me a pouch full of resources?
Since the Find Familiar spell is a little more than your standard components, it's yeah, because you need 10 gold worth of charcoal, incense, and herbs that are consumed. So the components pouch covers components that don't get officially consumed by casting the spell. And yeah, the casting time is about 1 hour.
This whole casting thing is difficult. All right, I'll do some shopping later, I guess. I'm still getting used to this whole thing.
Now, Ulgran, I only had you take enough out for one Find Familiar spell, correct? And you didn't
Correct.
buy in bulk. Okay. All right,
That's
yeah.
what I would spend my time doing, though.
So it definitely, I mean, those are simple items you could go and pick up from any just general goods store at this point. It is up to you.
I think I'll wait to shop. I'm okay.
All right.
That's not a big deal. Maybe I'll play with Mage Hand a little bit.
All right. What do you want to do with it?
Oh, I'm looking for a buxom lady across the room, and I want to stop her ass with it.
All right. So first, I'm gonna want you to make. Of course, it's a bar in a big town. There's at least one or two buxom lasses. Make a sleight of hand check because I want. All right, you're a little out of practice. I mean, you did receive some tutoring in your early life. A man with a well-rounded education like you are, Blackfeather.
If it was my real hand, I wouldn't have a problem with this.
Go ahead and with that, go ahead and make a spell attack roll. You just roll a d20 and add your spell attack modifier.
Where the hell is my spell attack?
It's on your spells page at the top right.
Spells page. Oh, okay. Got it. All right. Roll 1d20.
You're trying to give her a goose. Morgan just poked her in the back. And she turns, and unfortunately, you're really focused on this, and she can see you waving your hands in the air, and you're like laser beam and focus intensity, and she just stares at you like, what the
I just kind of smile, put my hands up, and go, "Sorry."
Oh, she a little pissed, but it's.
I'm a looker.
Finishes walking over to her friends. Huffin looks at you a couple times. Like, you definitely haven't made a friend this afternoon.
Gotta work on this shit. All right. I'll go back to my coffee.
And of course, deduct the spell points from your spell point total.
Spell.
Do we get spell points back from the rest?
Long rest, my friend.
Okay.
All right. Malmore, Ulfgrand, Pourquoi? Anything you all would like to do?
Nah, I'm chilling.
If we have the time, I'm going to be casting my ritual.
You would have to go shopping first to get the components. Because you only bought.
I'd like to find the alchemist store, so we're done drinking and all that, that's my next step.
You can be done drinking.
You're trying
Well,
to
I can go alone, but
I'll accompany.
I've been solo for a little while now.
Oh, I'm sorry. You lonely? I'll come with.
All
Get some
right.
attention. You never know what adventures could find in a big town
You
like
never
this.
know what's gonna walk in that door.
I wish we could find adventure. That's half the problem.
Yeah. The adventure's about 6 minutes away from turning that corner, apparently.
That's accurate.
All right. Do you three want to split off and go try to find a shop, or?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
3 of you head on out. So we will follow the 3 for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and see if the rest of you do anything while they're gone. All right. So you head on outside. We have 2 elves and a hill dwarf in Mountain Dwarf country in a town they've never been in. Go.
Nothing can go wrong.
Well, I speak Dwarven, so I'd like to ask somebody close to me where the general goods shop and the alchemist's shop are, if there is one.
All right. You just ask a random passerby on the street, or
Well, I'd like to put on my best charming smile as I do it.
alrighty. As you're standing outside the bar, the first person you see is a little old lady.
Good. She knows where things are.
True.
All right. Do you hail her down? What do you do here? What you
I
doing?
do. I will basically walk up to her,
Oh,
greet her in Dwarven.
hello. And,
Hello.
Of course, Malmore, you understand what's being said here, and Blackfeather, you're just waiting figure out what's going on.
Just another dwarf. I hear you.
Yeah. What can I help you with, young man? Your accent is very old.
It's a long practice. I just need some information about the town.
Well, what information are? I mean, I grew up here. What can I help you with?
I'm just looking at anything special that we need to know. Really, we're looking for some shops.
Oh, shops. Okay. Well, let's see. I mean, there's Julia's Tea House. Now that's if you go down that way and then down the 3rd alley. No, wait. Julia's daughter took over that last year. Did Sally change that name? I wonder. And she just starts rambling for a bit. Like, tea shops, a grocer, a dressmaker.
I'm going to walk away and see if somebody else is passing by that looks less crazy.
Alright, you see a couple dwarven gentlemen, a couple dwarven ladies, and
Oh, the gentleman?
a city
How
guard
can you
walking
tell the
by.
difference?
One has less hair?
They
No.
do not have beards. Women do not have beards. I'm sorry. You do see a town's guardman on a corner.
Guardsman, there we go. That's the guy I'm going to talk to. Hello, good sir. Could you tell me where the local general shop is?
He looks you up and down. Hilldwarf. Haven't seen one of your kind around here lately. Local shop. 2 streets down. Turn left.
All right. I gesture for the group to follow.
Altgren, how do you disengage from Grandma Ethel and her recountance of where she got her cotillion dress?
I assume that by now she's invited me for tea.
Actually, yes.
I will graciously accept at a later date.
Okay.
I
As
hope
you're
that's how
walking,
we end the campaign.
as you're walking away, she starts calling off to you that you never asked her name, you never gave her your name, and she wants to know if you want to know where she lives.
I will tell her that I have my ways of finding her, and that my name is Altgrand, and I will be in town again.
Oh, okay, bye, young man. He sounded
As
like he talked like my grandfather. And she wanders off. You three.
Hey, Malmore seems like he knows what he's doing. Come on.
I'm just
Yep.
following the directions the guard gave us.
All right, and you just come to Gultar's General Store.
Go through the door.
All right, let me pull up his character sheet.
And I roll an insight to get an idea of what's in the shop before talking to anybody.
Yep, go ahead. And it's a little busy, so there's a couple people around, and he goes, "Oh, I'll be with you in one moment." General goods, so some clothes, packs, dried goods, some general mining equipment. You know, anything you need in a town that serves a mining community and a little bit of a hunting, ranging community.
Sorry for clicking that so many times.
No problem.
What it was I was supposed to use, and my components aren't listed, so fuck me.
Actually, you do not need components. The Shadow Monk ability is you burn key. You just
That's right.
You
That's right.
purely
All right.
burn key points.
That's
So-
why I didn't include it. Oh man, I was so smart 2 weeks ago.
Thinking back to the training you received in the monastery, you realize you've actually gone out on a wasted trip here, because your master did tell you that when you had trained and reached a certain level, that you would be able to burn the energies within yourself to do these things without needing any sort of hand waving or words or items as your general arcanist practitioners need. But yeah, a lot of general shit. You could probably find all the simple stuff you're looking for: needle, thread, like think grocery store, but you know, not as overpriced on the non-food related items. You know.
I would like to try to stock up on the things I need for my components, specifically the charcoal and herbs.
Sure. You go up to Gultar, tell him what you need. Sure, lad. 10 gold.
I'd like to actually get 3 orders if I could.
Sure. Let's make it 25 since you're buying so much.
That's a deal.
I would like some too.
Oh, hold on. Let me hop in the back. I mean, I don't get calls for large amount. Did you want 1 or 3 like your friend here?
Oh, just one for me. I'm fine.
Oh, okay, hold on. Rummages around the counter. You can tell, like, when he's pulling out some of the boxes for the charcoal and stuff, like, he's tipping the little box over and shaking it out, trying to get the last bit out so he doesn't have to go in the back. 10 gold, my friend.
You got it.
All right. Mark 10 gold off each of your inventories. And he looks at it, he's like, "Oh, I take you," and he points at you all granted as a practitioner, but you, lad, you don't have the pasty, bookish complexion, no offense, friend.
He'll get there.
He's a dwarf, right?
Yeah.
I just look at him. I'm like, thanks?
You're welcome. You elven folk, most of you are pale to begin with, but that one next to you, does he get out much?
He does not get out much, but that's all right. We still love him.
Okay.
I'd like to look around and investigate his shop to see if it's on the up and up, just to see if there's any kind of hints that maybe he's got connections to a black market.
Sure, roll an investigation check. So you're looking around. You do see one small piece of thieves' can up above the door to the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly translates to currently protected by stonebreakers. So he's up and up, but he's smart enough to pay the little bit of money a local gang might ask for protection. You don't know if anyone's actually if they're actually protecting the shop from anyone else or protecting it from themselves, if you know what I mean.
His name's Stone Rigger or Brigger?
No. Protected by the Stonebreaker gang.
Oh, by the Stone. Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's one of those scenarios. Are they offering him actual protection from someone else in the city, or is it well, you gotta pay your protection money or an accident could happen?
Yeah, that's good. That's fine. I thank him for selling me the components, and I walk out of the shop.
Anyway, have a good day, lads.
See ya.
All right, Malmore, anything you want to find, or you?
I'd like to buy some health potions if they have some.
Sorry, lad. Those are a little rich for my blood. Like to keep a stock of those, I don't get much trade in that, and it's a little expensive.
Is there a shop nearby that has them?
There's a shop or two maybe up in Platinum District or Sapphire, but they're gonna be pricey. It's if you get into Cerebral proper, I mean they're available, but out here they kind of realize they have a bit of a stranglehold on the market, if you will.
We'll go take a look. Are you guys up for walking the Sapphire District?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now that's
I'd like to meet back up with the
yeah, I was gonna say
we take a long trip.
that's about 2/3 up the city.
Okay. Well, you can go back to the other group then.
All right. Well, so you guys are heading back. Let's come back to Shyla, Pourquoi. Was there anything interesting happening? Anything you wanted to do or talk about before your party gets back?
About how long
Well,
were we expecting?
they could be gone 15, 20 minutes, maybe half hour.
I'm just gonna polish off the lunch.
All right.
I'm gonna see if I can make some friends. See if anybody who's working at the tavern needs anything mended, or a little bit of fixing things up. See if they trade me for beer or money.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Alrighty.
I mean, nobody's looking for anything mended, but you make some friends. The one barmaid from earlier likes you and says stop on by sometime for when she gets off shift, and she can introduce you to a nice guy.
Alright.
All right. The time passes. Your group comes back from shopping. You all want to do anything else before you head out?
Should we long rest before we go up there? What do you guys think?
I mean,
I don't know why we didn't.
Have a
It's
nice
fine.
long nap.
Guy was literally bleeding out.
it's 1 in the afternoon by now, and you guys have only been up for 4 or 5 hours. So you'd have
I can't imagine we're gonna get into much danger in the city proper. We should probably at least go, greet the Jaegers before we find maybe a nicer place to bed down.
I can't imagine Leoten wants to wait.
Well, Leoten's actually out of town. If you remember, he was going to meet with Brother Marcus a bit to try to help him sift through a number of the Brotherhood communiques that the Wayas had intercepted over the last few months, and then was going to look into trying to figure out what Corruptor was up to, and see if he could figure out how he got back in play a lot earlier than Leoten was expecting him to be.
I can't imagine Leoten wants us to wait.
So
Is that a thing? Do we care what Leonton cares?
I wasn't here. I don't know.
Oh, they filled you in. Basically, Leotin went to bat for you guys and got you guys off of charges of international espionage.
Ah, then yeah, we do want to. I think we should go.
Yeah, we probably owe him that.
Hey, Shyla, how many spells can you cast right now?
I have no idea.
Yeah, how about any of the rest of you? I'm plumb out, personally.
Shyla, you are spent on spell points besides what your talisman, your pendant holds extra for you.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not gonna have to fight any orcs on the way up.
I mean, this is a civilized city, so it's up to you guys. They were expecting you to be heading up there today.
I think we'll be okay to.
I'd like to keep my eyes open for any specialty shops on the way, but I'd like to start heading up.
All right. Let's go.
All right. You guys head on up. Malmore and Altgren, I want you to each now Altgren, you said you're just keeping an eye out, so make a perception check, and then Altgren perception, Malmore investigation, since you said you were specifically looking for a potion shop, basically.
Can I keep an eye out? I don't really know what I'd be looking for personally, but for the somewhere that might sell Residium.
You would know that it would be rare in Gate Town and very highly priced. Residuum would be much more plentiful in Surreal, since there are many natural veins of it that are mined, and you have very different qualities and quantities available. Malmore, I mean, you heard that there were these shops up in the Pewter District, but I mean, these are some fancy places, and their signs aren't really obvious what they are. So, I mean, you can look around for a while, but it's going to take you a while to find one. And you can kind of tell the clientele around here isn't the, normal rabble walking around the street. These are some hoity-toity, well-dressed dwarves that don't like to be talking to country yokels.
Yeah, I'm fine continuing. If we see something along the way, it's
Okran, what sort of, there's shop, a naughty book shop. There's a boutique for racy undergarments. There's
I'm looking specifically for alchemy because I heard Malmore talk about it.
Okay.
And I'm also looking for anything that calls out as unusual.
All right. You see one shop, basically a curiosity shop, in the rose gold area there. But it does appear to be closed right now.
Blackfeather.
Roll if you're doing it actively, roll a perception check for me. Nope, you're good.
Okay, good. Yes.
I see this curiosity shop here. Do you have any way of taking a peek?
Are you talking about getting into the place, or are we talking about looking through the window?
Because there's a window right at the front, so you could just walk up to the window.
I mean, I could.
I have a way.
I didn't know that.
Maybe we'll look in the window first.
Do you have a mask when you look through windows that prevents you from seeing?
I do.
You do.
a very tired, but up and functional Porquois. I do.
Does anything call out as interesting if we look in the window?
There's some shelves with books. There appears to be some items in glass cases. a lot of display cabinets. It looks like kind of if you wanted to mix a antique shop, if it could actually have real magical items, you know, kind of a the stuff in there could be just neat because it's historical and weird, or it could be a very strange like ring of wizard bureaucracy. I mean, nobody wants it, but it makes you a really efficient bureaucrat, and it's rare. So, or it could be, you know, a Vorpal blade of awesomeness. You don't know. Like,
Ozra, mark
Yes.
this place down in your notebook. I want to know about it.
What's the name of it?
it's actually just called the Curiosity Shop.
Is there a store next door? We could just duck in and ask when their hours are.
Looks like it's residences, at least on these sides. You can double check. I mean, you're getting into those areas where shops are starting to look almost like homes. You know, like they're very nice. It's up to you.
I'm sure we'll spend more time here later.
Let's get moving then.
All right, you guys continue up to the hill, and you eventually reach the Ruby District. You walk up to the guild building, and you walk in, and there's this grand kind of entrance hall with nice marble floors, some pillars, and a reception sort of desk right in front of you with a young lady at the desk. What you appear to see is that she has these mirrors arranged in front of her, and a sort of stone at her throat that's glowing softly, and a kind of metal piece that goes over her ear with a stone as well. And you can see from a distance she's turning and talking at different times to different mirrors.
I think I've heard about this before.
Do you think we should interrupt her? Or is that dangerous?
I'm just going to walk up and interrupt.
Yes, of course, sir. And she just puts, the most abrupt, like, no questions, secretary finger one moment. Just, no matter how badass you are, it cuts you off. Like, you're just, She completes her conversation, touches the stone here. Yes, may I help you?
We've been told to come here by...
Good for you.
We've been told to come here by Liuten.
And he is... What office are you looking for?
Office of Swearing In?
This is the guild charter hall. Many guilds...
We're looking for the Jaeger office.
Ah! Thank you! Hold on. She touches a few stones on one mirror. Yes, you have a number of people here. We've requested many times that you cite with us when you will have people's... Thank you. Go down the hallway to the right, down the bottom stairs, last door on the hallway at the bottom of the stairs. And please tell them to register any large number of guests coming in with us beforehand.
We'll be sure to.
Thank you. And then
I'm so sorry that we interrupted you.
Thank you. And then as you're there, you see the mirrors are blinking again at her, and she's... Yes, thank you for contacting the Gate Town Guild Hall. How may I help you?
What a miserable person.
I just can't talk to people like that.
That was amazing. Do you think we could get a mirror too?
You would
I
have
don't know that we need more than one of us.
Those are in larger cities, so Blackfeather, you have seen them, and Uzra, you have seen them. Those are standard talking mirrors. Pretty much most places and businesses, homes have them for communication to other areas that have those mirrors. Personal codes, if you will, are given where you light up individual stones in a pattern on the front of it, and it will directly connect you to another talking mirror.
They're pretty expensive, Shiloh.
Oh. Oh well.
How expensive?
I want to say roughly, if you remember. Make a history check, Blackfeather. If you want to know.
Would the Artificers
Yeah,
Guild do maintenance on them?
Yeah.
Would I know?
Either of you can do. I mean, money's never been super important, but you remember when you first got one, when you first saw one when you were a kid, it was kind of like the first TV coming home. Okay, yeah. Uzra, it is 5,000 gold for a deluxe model, and about 1,000 gold for the more commercial ones that are being released now.
I'll relay as much.
Hold the 23.
With the model number, and like
Model number, serial, you know.
They're not the same anymore.
the cream white edition is my personal favorite. It's tasteful.
All right, you guys head down the hallway. You pass a lot of, I want to say, sadly, the classic bureaucratic office doors, like the smoky glass about halfway up, with stenciled, at least here in Dwarven runes, would be the names of the offices and guilds. Just pretty featureless and bland, and exactly the same as you walk down the hallway. Down the stairs, you now realize you are on a basement level. And there's pretty much a long hallway. There's one door at the very end, a few doors along the walls, but they don't have the windows. They're just like metal, like the maintenance doors, like service closet doors. You guys head down the hallway, and you are standing in front of the door. It simply just says, in Dwarven runes for Malmore and Uzra, MJ Guild Office, Gatetown Branch.
This looks like the one.
All right. What do you do?
Open the door.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's head in.
Small office, just about big enough for you guys to all get in. Kind of looks like the 50s private detective office almost, where there's a little reception desk, that gated fence that goes across for the quote unquote waiting area, and then you see a desk on the other side. The desk on the other side is, you see the chapter captain. Let me pull up his card here. There's Leo Colis, the half-elf chapter captain, and a young lady, human lady, sitting at the desk in the reception area. He's just working away. The receptionist goes up and says, "Yes, may I help you?"
Uncomfortable silence. We're here. We're here to get sworn in.
Ah, yes, of course. Captain, sir, your new recruits have arrived. And looks up. Ah, yes. Excellent. If you all can stay there for just one moment. Miss Evergreen, could you make sure the hallway is clear? Of course, sir. She gets up, kind of sidles in between you, because you're kind of packed in the small, not overly small area, but a little small. Sidles past, opens the door, looks around. I want to say you don't need a perception check or anything. You wonder, why the hell is she looking out there? Why would anybody come down here? You know? She closes the door. She goes, "It's clear, sir. Thank you, Miss Evergreen. One moment, everyone. He places his hand on his desk. You see a small pulse of light from where his hand is, and he says, "Go ahead, Miss Evergreen." She reaches into her pocket and pulls out a very ornate key. Places it into the lock. You see her 3 turns to the right, 2 to the left. She pushes the key in, pulls it almost all the way out, and then 1 turn to the right again, and opens the door. And what you see before you is a completely different hallway. Captain Leo stands up and goes, "All right, all of you, follow me down the hallway. I will take you to the evaluation room and get you... Have you all eaten? Gotten anything to drink? I know it's well after lunch. I did not know if you had all had a chance to eat yet."
We maybe drank too much.
Yeah, maybe some water.
Of course. And he touches a small... You see, it looks just like a small brooch in his collar, and it just lights up and goes, "Yes, can I have refreshments, water, anything else, anyone?"
I'll take an ale.
Ale?
You have Embryon snails, maybe some roe, a little bit of sushi.
Lists all that to the main intake interview room. Yes, thank you. All right, come along. And as you're walking down this hall, it opens up into this big circular room with a lot of halls coming off of it.
Wait, hold on. I think I missed something. What did Shyla take?
No, she...
Something.
Didn't take anything, just touching everything.
Because remember, you guys were in a basement hallway into a very small office where something strange just happened. The door opens and you're now in a richly appointed wood-lined hallway walking into a very different, very large open circular room with a huge number of hallways branching off from the main central room and a spiraling staircase on the one corner going up to a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, 7, maybe
like
9th
to-
or 10th floor where it stops. Maybe.
Where
I
are
would like to just...
we?
Oh, go ahead.
Where are we?
Well, you're at the main guild house.
Leo, are we still in Gate Town though?
Leo? Oh,
Leo Polis.
all right. For now, Leo's fine, but normally it's Captain.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was sworn in already. My fault.
And you can tell he's actually a little more well-humored than before. And you're thinking that that may have been the face that he puts on when he's in the job role out in public. He's so especially dwarves on the eastern continent are not exactly helpful if you don't want to follow every proviso, rule, dictum, form, and so on.
You don't say.
Hey, well, anarchist, you tell me. But all chapter houses, no matter how well equipped, do have the ability to lead you back to the main house if required. And of course, all swearing in ceremonies and initial evaluations for records are done here. I mean, I'd really hate to see what would happen if all of our records had to go from place to place. Ooh. No, thank you.
So we're not in Gate Town.
You are and aren't. I'm not very arcanically inclined.
So that's good for me.
It's kind of how when you're teleporting or using a gate spell, they tell me in the moment of transposition you are in both places at once. So technically that hallway and door are in Gate Town and here. Just as that door over there, and he points to one down the hallway, that's the Nolia West. That one there, Nolia East. That's Hyaltari. That's
Fascinating. So we could go pretty much anywhere from here.
with authorization, yes.
So that's how he does it.
Who?
An old friend of ours.
Oh, Founder Leotin, you mean?
Of course.
No, he does not come here very often at all.
I should have known.
He stays away pretty much to stay out of day-to-day business. He only ever has intervened a few times besides yours.
He never answers any questions that I've asked him.
Well, we don't really ask the founder a question. I mean...
What will he do?
Hmm?
What will he do?
Well, we just... Actually, it's just hard to pin him down. And then
Oh,
he
okay.
usually really avoids the question very well.
Yes.
I'm hungry.
All right, and you guys, of course, are walking and talking the whole time. You're not just standing in the middle. And you can see a lot of people going to and for on different business. Takes you over to large circular staircase. As you get there, you see it's actually finely worked brass. As you guys are going up and up, takes you to the 4th floor, leads you over to a large set of double doors. And as the doors open, you see a medium-sized room. A couple tables, a couple bookshelves, and oddly, there's some folded up floor mats, like the ones you may use for martial arts practice in the corner, and some practice weapons, and actually 1 or 2 stations for more, one would be an alchemical pursuit, one would be more scrying ritual, you got the full gambit here of, anybody could find tools that they would be looking for at this point. So, all of you, please come in. This is what we call our evaluation, one of our evaluation suites. We just need to understand who you are, what you're capable of. So, when we do offer contracts or offer something else, we call them commissions here. We have our contracts, which you heard a little bit about. Some of our members don't have outside jobs besides here, so we also will allow them to take individual assignments we call commissions. Now, those are not held in the same regard as a contract. But your basic, if an alchemist is looking for red dragon scales and, they don't like giving them up nicely, they can commission. So we watch request boards, hunting boards, stuff like that, and we offer through a few. Wow, this sounds like a weird for a person who claimed law-abiding and upstanding. Through some shell companies and organizations, we offer also some more profitable sides to our business to keep things running. But yes, we need to take a little bit of time to understand what you're all capable of to make sure we don't send you to your death.
Oh,
Sounds fair.
So, food should be in a moment. Also, one of my lieutenants, who is also our evaluator, should be here shortly. And at this point, he looks over and sees Pourquoi. He goes, "Oh, and she'll get you fixed up. Actually, she'll fix you all up. Are any...
And what if we're not interested in a job?
Which job? Like, joining...
Joining any of these guilds, doing the commissions, doing the contract.
Oh,
Just if we want to walk away today, are we allowed to?
if you truly wish to, yes, but we would also have to rescind the claim of the previous things you were doing being protected under a contract.
Yeah, they sort of got us out of jail.
Basically, Leotin truthfully put himself out there by, you get the warrant signed afterwards, but you happen to fudge the date to say the warrant was signed a few days ago, sort of idea. If that makes any sense to you, my young friend.
Basically, Malmore. No. We're stuck.
I mean,
I'm happy with it. But
the contracts are only there. If one of you would like to explain a bit, I unfortunately I wasn't ready to have to do the whole spiel this second. Let me go see what's taking Emma so long and talk to your friend here. I'll be back in a moment with Emma. And we'll try to find that large friend of yours, see if we can get him here. And at that point, the captain walks out. And you hear him, he doesn't touch the thing, he goes, Emma! Where are... And he walks down a hallway. So you probably have a few minutes if you wish to talk to Malmore about everything, bring him up to speed, or Malmore if you're really set on going.
Malmore, do you remember, I know you had a fever, do you remember the clockwork armor that we found?
Yes.
We were accused wrongly of stealing it. Which, as I'm sure you know, is high crime in Dwarven society.
Actually, point of order, and Malmore, you can get as offended as you want. You are a Western Hill dwarf, sir. You don't know shit about this clockwork crap. And you were also raised in a monastery.
Yeah, which is why I don't want to be stuck with a contract, but that's what we have to do to get you guys freed. I'm glad to help.
It's not just us.
You were also
you're involved as well.
Accused in abstentia while you were fever racked.
So basically, it's job or jail.
How many jobs do you think we'll have to take? Just forever?
Forever.
From what I understand, it's almost entirely up to you to take on a contract. We get sworn in. Leotin comes in at some point and says, we really need you for this. And anything else is extra.
Maybe we could clarify that point.
That'd be great. I haven't talked to anybody who knows anything about this. Leo is like completely useless, so.
With that, a side door bangs open, and short, about 4'6", but kind of ripped in a loose-fitting shirt and shorts, boots, and kind of slightly padded fighter's gauntlets. Young girl walks in. Ah, who the fuck are you all?
New recruits.
Oh, so you're what the captain's wasting my time with. Emma Bladewalker. Damn fine to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
She walks up and the really strong, you are impressed for someone who's only about 4 foot and change how tight this grip is. As she walks down the line, shaking hands.
Ooh, careful, that's my casting hand.
Casting. You Arcanists are the funniest people. And she, the hard slap on the shoulder. Walks up to you, Perquad, just starts shaking away.
My whole body goes limp and I shake with it.
Oh, you're not looking that good. And with that, she grabs your forehead. And you feel a surge of energy course through you. You're back up to full health. There you go. Didn't want you passing out on me.
I'm at 16 and 19 anyway. Alright.
And as you all watched, when she gripped his head, there's a slight flash of light in her eyes and a small pulse of energy. And all of a sudden, Perquois standing up straight. He's looking ready to go.
I do a backflip.
There you go. That's good.
What else can you grab? Holy shit.
And it is an eloquent backflip. Like, it is on point. It's toit.
Into a handstand.
Yeah. And with Shyla clapping, you know, she's like, all right, I need to understand what each of you can do a bit. Make sure you all don't get yourselves or somebody else killed. All right, let's start, and points at Blackfeather. Let's start with you, big guy. Come here. And she just does a little thing. Come here.
Okay.
You walk up, and she stares at you a minute. Well, down here, I'm not a giant. Do you kneel down?
I crouch down, yes.
All right. She takes gently. You're surprised. You were expecting like vicious head grab here. In your hand, your head in her hands, and she starts murmuring a little to herself, and you feel a little tickle. She's, oh. Huh. All right. Pretty dexterous. Okay.
I'm a fish salesman.
For your profession, friend, you're not a very good liar.
Yes, I am.
Well, I don't know if that's your job, but I know you do something else with your time.
Don't we all do a little something else?
Ooh, you do have a little touch of magic. Recent, though. Interesting. Alright. Do me a favor. Throw one of your knives at that dummy over there. About 30 feet away, there's a
Don't
dummy.
call me a dummy.
Nah, I just bothered to heal you. Alright. I mean, it's a dummy. It's not that hard. Funk. Alright. Good. Shoot the other one across the way with your short bow. Still? Yep. Alright. You got one of them spooky hands? You can grab those back?
I'm all out of spell points. I don't feel the energy flowing through me.
Oh, right. God. Gosh, you're so needy. And she walks over to a table and she brings over a small stone. All right.
Okay. I have the stone.
Take the stone. All right. You need to... Now look at the stone.
Looking at the stone.
And the only way I can ever describe it, take a breath in, but not with your lungs. Go ahead and make an Arcana check. First try. You
I kind of use my nose a little bit.
you breathe unconsciously because it's the act, but the little bit of light that was in that stone, gone. And you have restored enough spell points for a level 1 spell.
Got it.
Uzra, you know what that is, my friend.
Ah.
What is it?
That was a residuum stone.
Can we keep the stone?
You're not worth that much, lad. So, yep, you just cast a spell, send that mage hand over, plucks the arrow out, plucks the dagger out, brings it back to you.
It can do other things.
Well, this was just a test. I want to see what you're capable of this second. Alright, next goes to Pourquoi.
I believe I already did a backflip.
I did see that.
You want me to do double backflip?
Sing me a little song that does something interesting.
Alright, get the juice harp out. Do the old twang, 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 twang.
Alright, and what spell do you cast?
inspiration, sure.
Well, no, you can do inspiration or you can do a spell. She just wants to.
No, just give her inspiration.
All right, she'll take that inspiration, and with that, she uses that inspiration to do a backflip herself.
Can she roll for that?
If you. God damn it! Hold on. Really? All right, hold on.
I want to see this little lady fall on her face.
19, 20, hold on. What is that? She nails it.
I don't need inspiration.
All right. Next, she comes on over to you, Uzra.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a look at you. At least you don't need to lean down. Grabs your head. Thinks second. To you, Shyla, she had given a little like half fake curtsy since she's not wearing a skirt. She goes, you were gonna be one of those righteous pricks from down under, weren't you? But they kicked you out and blocked what you could do normally, huh?
Something like that.
They're a bunch of ripe bastards, aren't they?
That they are.
So what have you done then? I see some sort of interesting thing on your hip there.
I'll pull it out.
Whoa. She's 15, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
She takes a look at it. Some sort of projectile thrower, I'm guessing. Looks a little like a crossbow, but
Fires a lot faster. A little bit louder, too.
I'm gonna take your word for it because we're not really set up for that in here.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a range in sub-basement too if you ever need to put some time in with something. Nice fortified walls.
Sounds good.
Same for you caster types if you ever want to blow something up.
I like to do that all the time.
Oh, come here, miss. Let's see what you're all about.
Oh, I'll come down.
Thank you. Yeah, see, I didn't need to ask you. Men, not a bit of courtesy in them, huh? She takes her hands, holds them there. That's not quite right. What sort of caster are you, dear? What were you trained as?
I wasn't.
Oh, someone had to work with you a bit. Hold on. And you see her hand reach just slowly towards Shyla's face, and then slowly pull away. And as she does, that mask you've all been seeing slowly materializes in her hand. Oh. That's the problem. Huh.
Can you keep it?
Well, I mean, you can keep it. It won't go back on. There is a note here on the inside. Now, if you want, I can read this out loud, dearie, or you can read it for yourself.
Oh, yeah, just pass it over.
All right, pass it over. If you want to hop in whispers with me, Shyla, then. Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry. Alright. Inside, glowing against the back of the mask, is just a short passage in a familiar hand. It is the hand of the woman who trained you at the circus.
Nope. What's it say?
Alright, hold on. I wanted to check her name for you, because I couldn't remember. Merle Roantree. It says, "My dearest Shyla, I'm sorry to tell you, when I told you you were of the more visiting arcanic persuasion, I may have lied to you. Sorcerers and sorceresses are not well regarded by many, especially those who tap into the wild, chaotic side of magic. I put this here to protect you and limit some of the adverse effects that would come from you using your arcanic abilities when you were in a high stress situation. But as your strength would increase, the mask would be less effective and eventually come off itself. Do understand, dear, I did this for your own protection, and I knew you would eventually find this note and know the truth. I just warn you, be careful and be prepared. Things will be interesting for some time for you in using your arcanic abilities. With all love, Muriel."
Wow, she could write really small.
It's magic, so it kind of popped up out and glowy, you know.
Scroll.
Okay.
Alright. We'll hop on back. Alright. So you read the note, put it away. Back to my notes of where I currently am. Hold on. Alright, and Emma looks at you and goes, "So, you do see what I'm saying now, right?
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
So, if you want to come see me tomorrow or later today, we can talk a little, and I can definitely pair you up with a member that can help answer some questions if you have any."
Yeah, that might help. Thank you.
"Oh, no problem." With that, she stops, turns. "What the fuck you all looking at, boys? You! Short one that looks like he can throw a punch. Come here." At least another one I don't have to bend down for. She takes a hold of your head. See, you're from the West originally. Oh, Shadow Stepper.
I don't need a young lass looking down on me.
40 years you may be, friend, but still young by your people's standards. So I don't need a young man looking down on me either. Alright, you'll be fine. Do me a favor. Go ahead, no, you get a tingle in that wrist. See if you can, I want to see if you can hit that dummy from here. Or do you just want to try throwing something at it if you're not ready yet? Alright, you're all a little surprised how quick and just dart across the room, sinks right in. If you're wondering, AC on a dummy is low. And alright, you on adventure?
What's up?
Yep. And with that, as you were all looking, you hear the captain coming back. "Well, trust me, if you just follow me down this and up here, your friends are right here." And you all turn, and standing in the doorway with Captain Leo is Adventure.
Adventure!
Adventure.
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 How's it going, Frank?
Hey. I don't know where I was, but I'm here.
Feeling better, I see.
Emma looks over.
Great.
Nah,
deal,
that's
yeah,
just
yeah.
that's just a meathead, Leo. I really don't need to see what he's all about.
Hey.
Well, if they don't got anybody else, they're fine with me. And Leo, all right. Oh, well, where the hell were you in the? We'll talk later. Just show up when you're supposed to. Emma goes, all right. It's good to see y'all. Goes down the line. You know, big, overly aggressive handshakes again. At you, Shelly goes, just come see me later, dear, and I'll have you meet up with someone who can definitely help you out a bit.
Okay.
All right. Looks at Adventure. Hauls off and punches you as hard as she can in the stomach.
Well, me.
Hold on. And now she's gonna use that inspiration. So hold on. That doesn't hit your AC. So hold on. What's your inspiration at?
I
Pourquoi?
think it's just still 6, isn't it?
Yeah, 1d6. Does 18 hit your armor class? Adventure.
What did you say? 18?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. I have 15.
Oh, sorry, 16. But yeah, so it hits, and she's gonna do wearing the fighter's gauntlets and her strength bonus.
Lethal damage.
She does 9 points of damage.
Jesus.
Wow.
You just got punched in the gut for 9 points of damage by a 15-year-old girl. Just so you know.
Cool. Do all grand next.
And
Please don't punch me.
with that, she nods and heads out the door. Well, seems Emma says you're all good. Oh, you'll be fine. No, I mean, you might. It's gonna bruise. I mean, she hits really hard.
I might have fucking broken a rib.
All right.
How did Altgran get out of
Fucking ogre
evaluation?
or whatever we ran into in the forest.
I guess I'm just transparent.
She sticks her head back in. Nice, creepy as fuck. And just walks away.
Fair.
So,
That's transparent.
with that, food that you had all requested comes in. And chairs. Leo motions you over. Says, all right, food, beverages. At this point, you know, it's with the walking around, I would say it's probably closer to, by your perspective, in from Gate Town, it's about 2:30. So, you know, you could have a snack, some drinks. Leo sits down with you and goes, okay, before we make this official, I know things were a little rushed. Usually people are inducted a little more rigmarole to it. Do you have any questions? I'm guessing a lot.
Malmore, I feel like this would be the time.
Yeah, how long do we have to be in service to pay you back for putting yourself on the line and protecting us?
It's not a matter of paying back, son. You're not required to take a contract. We are, and most of you have heard this before, we are the bastion of last resort. When someone seeks justice or assistance and they don't have any other recourse, they'll come to us.
I'm looking for justice for my monastery. Can I come to you now?
Yes, that's actually one of the benefits I was going to speak of. Members may may have an active contract of their choice at no charge to them, and the full resources of the Mortjäger Society will be behind helping find your answers. You'll have access to all of our intel reports. Open, basically requests for information can always be available. Just understand that there are times you may be called upon to help. I mean, if you truly do not take a contract, do not swear to it. Because one thing is, once you take the contract, you are bound to that contract till its completion. But yes, any one of you, if you require assistance or you find an injustice you feel needs to be righted, you may submit the contract yourself. But if it's found to be in false dealing, I mean, you will reap the benefit and the repercussions of your decisions.
What about procurement of materials?
You mean during an active contract?
No, I mean if we need materials, can we use the Jaeger office to try to procure them?
We have a number of things we standardly provide available to you that can be purchased from our stores. Additionally, you can put feelers out to acquire things, especially rarer things, or have people keep a lookout for items of rarer. If you know, say, a specific magic item or tome you'd like to be found, we can have our agents who mostly deal in information acquisition be on the lookout for that for you, of course.
Very good.
Any other questions?
If I can put in a contract to find information about who killed my fellow monks and burned my monastery, I'll join you now.
Of course.
I'm sorry, what?
I'd like to put in a contract to find out who killed my parents.
What was that? I can't hear you.
I said I want to put a contract in to find out who killed my parents.
Sure. Yes, we can start gathering information. What you can do is, after the ceremony, you can submit first part of an open contract and provide all the information you have, and we will start getting our agents to look into this.
There's one hitch. They're not dead.
And he stops, and he just you had me going. But your inconsiderate friends, jest aside, Dwarf Malmore, yes, of course, we will put available resources at your disposal to help find that out.
Why are we waiting? Let's go to the ceremony.
Well, I mean, normally...
Why wait?
And any questions from you, my big friend?
I'm a little slow.
Adventure, you'll get to kill things.
I'm a more complex man now, Altgran. I enjoy poetry and women, mostly women.
Oh, entirely women.
Poetry about naked women. Mostly women. Yeah, just women.
Well, there will
Anybody see any women?
And at this point, he's just staring at this like, thank God a house father isn't here for this. Oh my God.
Have you seen me fight?
You saw you got punched by a 15-year-old girl.
Well,
Yeah.
no.
Stung.
In your large friend's opinion, Emma's one of our best war clerics. In the...
What in God's name is a war cleric?
So, you know, they...
More women! Sorry, continue.
Sorry, I'm also
Turkey leg.
catching up on. How do you mean you do an imitation of Emma? You do punch all? Do you?
Swagger, a little fake punch.
Okay. Normally there's a bit more rigmarole and ceremony, but due to the extenuating circumstances, we're gonna have you just take the oath here because we actually have a contract for you that you're actually intimately involved now in. The lawmaster, the arbiter from your extradition trial has actually requested this team to look into the theft of the parts itself. He felt at this point, who better to look into it than an outsider, being that apparently he's, as his exact words, and he reaches over a piece of paper that was on the table, that incompetent, beardless child couldn't find his own chamber pot with instructions. So
Classic Bori.
Not everyone can be a war cleric poet.
With that, he reaches into the pouch at his side.
He's got a gun.
Oh.
It's a deck!
How'd he get one of those?
What's a deck? There's no
Oh.
ship.
I hate you all. I'm just
Ship.
trying to look something up. Oh, I hate you
I
all.
pull out my gun.
What's a gun?
Oh wait, it was a cell phone.
All right. There you guys go. Basically, small metal badges. He places on the table, and on the back of it is inscribed the code of the Mortjekers. You all don't actually have to read it, but
Badge to heart. We are a single.
I hate you.
Wait, how long do we repeat one principle?
Just once. Basically, it
And
would
then
be
how long do we repeat one code?
it would be once. The idea would be, all right, if you all want to at least make this semi-official.
Why wouldn't you just write it again?
No, the idea is place the badges to your heart. You don't say any of this, and the captain starts
Oh, okay.
speaking. We are a single body with no allegiance to anyone but ourselves. We forswear family ties and nations. We offer one simple service. We will step into the darkness for you. We will find who or what you are looking for, and we will bring it back to you in the condition requested. Simple, elegant. No one knows who hires us. Everyone knows they can trust us to get the job done. We can guarantee that because we are guided by one principle,
One principle.
one code.
Under God.
One code.
What is that code?
The contract is all.
There you go. And with that, a small flash of light, and now the badges are yours. No one can truly take them from you.
Indivisible.
Where are they?
You have them on you, but if someone ever does take them, they will always come back to you, usually within a few feet of you. And
Can I
visible.
put mine in my bag?
Yep. Now, if you are ever on active contract and you claim such, present the badge, and any official will be able to confirm that. And they will basically get out of your way and assist you in any way necessary.
I like this.
Man.
Now, as you are all friends with Leoten, it seems he's your sponsor. I ask you all now, I will cite the second oath to you. It's not something you have to repeat. It is basically the understanding that besides the contract, there's one other responsibility you have. Many people fear the power that we have when it comes to when we are fulfilling a contract. We are also responsible for policing our own. It is also your responsibility when called upon if a Jäger succumbs to the temptations of the darkness that we all travel into, that he is to be, or she, led back or stopped by any means necessary. So I ask you, when traveling in the darkness where monsters dwell, I am the monster, and we are what the monsters fear. When the innocent cry for justice, we are the hands that rate the scale. None shall keep me or you from your path or destination. And should one lose their way, not try to journey back, you shall guide them home or to their journey's end, as I know another would do for me. Do you all swear?
Yes.
All right. So, with the how great Serbial paperwork is and bureaucracy, your status will be confirmed in the morning, and you all will be given an unlimited visa to Serbia for the term of this case. During not case-related work with Serbia, you will have a standard visitor's visa, which will keep you to mostly the market district and the entrance district where the Clockwork Armor Arena is located. At this point, you are welcome to stay here for the day, rest up. We do have some items available for you, which I will throw in the Discord chat here in a second. Unique items that we find are very useful in our work. And of course, healing, food, rest, anything you all require. Is there any other questions I can answer for you all?
You mentioned there's a contract you want to go out on right away.
Well, it will be first thing in the morning, unfortunately, since dwarven paperwork is not exactly quickly processed. You've been requested to investigate the smuggling ring that allowed the armor pieces to leave Serbia.
Smugglers. Got it.
We believe
We
smugglers
got
at
the
this
data
point. We
ourselves.
don't even know. What was that?
So we have the day to ourselves.
Yeah, you can stay here in the headquarter house for the rest of the day. You will not, unfortunately, most likely be able to enter Serbia till tomorrow morning.
We have like a map of the facilities that we can there's do here.
Unfortunately, as I said, there. You just let us know where you need to go, and we'll point you in that direction. Hard copy maps do not exist of the main house.
Is there a bar?
Yes.
Nice. Jaeger bar.
Who's
Sounds like the bomb.
And if you guys look in the Discord chat, you'll see there's a number of items available just standardly. Acid flask, alchemist's fire at a discounted rate, a general antitoxin, which when administered within one turn can negate any poison effect.
Wait, we gotta buy our own supplies?
Well, these are usually 4 to 5 times the cost of what we have posted here, so we're giving you a drastic discount to help just cover the overhead.
Well, we still have to buy things. That's, thanks for the discount.
Completion of contracts do come in with money, as well as if you track your expenses, we are willing to offer a 50% reimbursement of costs.
All right, track our expenses. Sure. Is that like a standard receipt? You know, what do we need to get a certain seal from the merchants?
A signed receipt by the merchant. Most merchants, at least in civilized towns, will already have a receipt system in place. We know most of them and can honor them.
A receipt system. Okay, got it.
What is the application of the poison vial? Acid flask, whatever.
Acid flask is you can either throw it and it has a chance of breaking, or you can just open it and sloosh and within melee.
How about alchemist fire? Is it the same deal?
Once opened, you have 2 turns, and it ignites. And if you use it, I can give you the exact damage for that. Smoke sticks will basically give you a controlled area of darkness. Sunstones you saw earlier. We talked about those earlier. Tanglefoot bags are a trap that you can immobilize a enemy till they make a strength check. That passes. Thunderstones are items that, when detonated, basically release a clap of thunder within a confined space. Tinder twigs will start a fire. And holy oil will allow you to apply it to any melee or ranged weapon and add radiant damage on top of it.
Yeah, I want a bunch of those.
We have a huge stock, so
Give me how long does that last? How long is the application?
I would say it lasts for about 2 to 3 minutes once you put it on, because the oil will evaporate. But each vial is good for about 3 applications, depending on the item. I would say if it's like your rapier, probably 1 application.
And applying it takes an action?
Yeah, bonus action if you do it in battle, or if you tell me you do it right before. Like,
give me 10 of those.
all right, go ahead and mark 500 gold off your inventory.
No problem, buddy.
We also do have any facilities needed for alchemical and arcanist pursuits, any ritual requirements such as that. So, the evening is yours, and when you're ready to return, please let me know and I'll escort you back. If you do not see me and I am at the survey office, just come and knock on the door, and we can hear you on the other side, and we will come and get you. All right, the night is yours. Shyla, I take it you go to speak to someone about things and stuff?
Yeah.
All right. And you find Emma pretty easily, and she takes you to a library where you meet a few practitioners that you can speak to for a while and ask questions.
Great.
Anybody else?
Uzra, I would like you to come with me, and Blackfeather, you as well. I need to resummon my little friend here, and I'd like you to inspect him, Uzra.
Yeah, I was hoping to as well.
You go on Blackfeather?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you can definitely talk to Altgrand a bit. Definitely having him there gives you a little bit of a refresher, as it has been a while since you remembered the lectures of your tutors about such things. So go ahead and mark off the components for each of you. And as you're all sitting together, you see the little golden scarab that had been assisting you guys in your last battle. As the magical energy swirl around it, and you see the charcoal, incense, everything, the vapor and smoke swirl around him. The smoke starts to coalesce into the missing pieces and filling in cracks till finally he's whole and new. And then you hear softly in the back of your head, Ulkrand, "Thank you, sir. That was becoming very unpleasant."
I'll just nod to him.
And he chitters, clicks a little, and the eyes flash a little bit. Blackfeather, as you sit there and concentrate on this spell. It's the first time you ever done a ritual spell. It's a little taxing. You never really realized, like, you've watched Altgrand and Uzra do ritual spells before, and you're like, I don't ever see why they're so tired after this. But you're like, you know what? This is... And you hear, partway through the ritual, fluttering of large wings. And then, I'm not going to make the noise because it's 10:30 at night, but a loud crow call. But you notice, Grand and Uzra, they're just talking. They don't seem to notice it. And you feel a tickle on your shoulder, like slightly colder temperature. Do you look up?
Yes.
Alright. On your shoulder is about half again, almost 2 times as big as a normal crow, spectral crow, looking down at you on your shoulder.
Cool.
Just cocking its head to the left and right. And you don't hear words, but kind of in a softer, feminine feel to it. You get the idea that I will be with you no matter what happens. And as you concentrate and the ritual comes to an end, the smoke coalesces at your shoulder, growing darker. And Uzra and Algren, you look up and you see, like, there is a patch of darkness coalescing his shoulder, and as it dissipates, there's a big fucking crow in his shoulder. Like, pretty big fucking crow.
That's a good trick.
Hey, birdie. I throw him
Of course.
the table.
And
There's your true nature.
and you guys can tell there's definitely a bit more intelligence behind the eyes there than your average crow. This is it may have the form of a crow, but I don't think it's really a crow.
What is it?
You're not there, Adventure.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if I know what it is?
Yeah, sure. You've heard tell of familiars, and a lot of times they are beings of the ethereal or spiritual realms, summoned and given form on the physical plane. Usually, sometimes they can look more mundane, but the less mundane they look, the more oomph they're packing, or something a little more, not stronger, but just they may not do the standard familiar things. But you gotta guess that probably this familiar is connected in some way to something. Maybe not it itself, but connected to something pretty awesome.
Very cool.
Alright. That leaves Malmore, Pourquoi, and Adventure. What are you all doing during this hour?
You guys want to go drink and find ladies?
Might as well.
Ladies.
And,
Drops everything.
and you guys surprisingly find, as you're walking around, you can't really tell where this building ends. Like, that you go to a bar, there's a bar down the hallway, alright, you hang out for a bit, then screw it, let's try another one, and they tell you there's another bar.
We found Shangri-La.
Also, Uzur, would you do you want to investigate, make a tinkering check on
Yes.
You taking a look at him. You're being extra careful not to potentially damage him. You see, it seems like the body is a pretty standard fare of mechanical parts. Like you've heard of devices like this. You've seen them in Surreal. Like a lot of times, some rich people use them to use a spent residuum stone to record a message, and then they put it in the creature, and you can send it to a location, and it delivers a recorded message, be it audio, visual, or both. Additionally, you have heard some more torrid mystery stories of from your younger years of these being used to administer poison to people. And as you saw during the battle, he is very capable of that. At his core, though, you see a very intricate melding of residuum metal, fine metalwork, like to the point of you're not sure you could get it that small and thin at the very core, and you believe whatever consciousness that inhabits this little thing resides there when it is using this form.
Fascinating.
But
Where'd you find this?
This is him, the one that I found in that damned dungeon.
And with that, the eyes flicker a little bit at you, Uzer, and the only way he describes is if a scarab could kind of do a little bit of a bow, like, pleasure to meet you, you know. It just did.
Pleasure. Is this the thing that you, I'm trying to remember, stuck into your neck?
Well, that thing has always been there, but a device did connect to the back of his neck when you were all in the Aesir base underground.
Was that this, or was that something else?
That was Basil. You'll have to forgive me. I don't remember much about that. It was quite painful.
Granted.
Adventure, you may roll a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Damn.
Adventure, this is the bartender at a private bar of hardcore international adventurers and shadowy justice seekers.
But damn, she is fine.
That's
Do the
fun.
bartenders at Shadowy International whatever don't fuck?
No, but they've heard it all before. I mean, remember that oh sweet boy you got back in Peril? You got the next step down from that.
I could make it yours if you want. Just saying.
Need a wingman.
Spend money to gain advantage on the roll.
Well, no, that is up to you, Pourquoi.
I need to earn it. You keep your money. Well,
As you
find a next bar. If they have this place has infinite bars, I have all the chance in the world.
do you cast the spell, Pourquoi?
No.
Okay.
I'm just showing them.
All right. Do you guys wish to?
What was it? Heal wounds.
Oh, Basil can talk.
Well, none of you heard that,
okay.
but Ulgran did.
So
So he just starts chuckling, and none of you know why.
Does it look like from my inspection of Basil that
Mm-hmm.
I could uh, modify, repair, anything like that to this? Like, is it standard machinery? Is it?
If for some reason Oakgrand was ever in a position to not be able to cast the spell again to repair him, you could, with a tinkering check, attempt to make repairs to everything but the core part of the mechanism.
Could I don't know how much HP it has, but heal it in any way mechanically?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, tinkering check would repair it, which would be healing it, and we would determine, depending on the roll, how well you do.
Okay. Good to know.
This should allow me to share its Basil's stats with Uzra, right?
Yeah. Additionally, Olgren, if you would like to take the night, I would say at this point it's around 5:36. I would say you could potentially cast the ritual 2 more times if you wanted to teach him the additional forms.
Yeah, I'll need Uzra's help with that as well.
Well, I don't think, or like we said, not quite ready for pew pew.
No, the shield.
Oh, yeah. That's doable, yeah. Alright, anybody else? Any other activities you'd like to do this evening?
Depending on how much time, I'd like to find like a workshop that I can try to make some.
At this point, it would be that or helping Olkrand.
Alright, I'll help him. Nothing time sensitive.
Is there a weapons shop?
They got your basic fare. No, like, enchanted or +1 deals, but if you're looking for something, you could find it there, yeah.
Any talented warriors? Like, unusually talented warriors?
They have quite actually a training staff. If you'd like to spend some time with a different type of fighter, yeah, you could definitely put some training time in.
Sure, I don't know what that would do for me specifically, but yes, that's...
I'll make a note of it, and we can talk about it offline. See where that goes.
Do it. I'm gonna go off. Can we make this instructor female?
Red Zoniac.
Just roll me a d20.
Oh, what's the command again? What?
/roll d20.
Wow, that's awfully simple.
Nah, it's a dude.
You could still have him if you want him. I think that should happen.
The fighting trainer.
I am
trainer,
trying to master many ways of combat.
The fighting trainer on duty is a gentleman.
You saying you're trying to sword fight?
Hey, he's working on his technique and skill at handling his weapon. All right, anybody else? I would say, Shyla, it doesn't take you the whole night conversing, but I would say you're probably cloistered up with the group till about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So you could probably have another hour or two if you want to make sure to have a good night's sleep before getting up in the next morning.
I'll just turn in. Fine.
All right. Anybody else?
Is there anywhere I could buy Residium here?
Asking around, yeah, they do have some available. I would say, unfortunately, there's about a 0.5% markup from the document, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
So the base cost unfortunately, add like 50% to the cost, just because it's like when you buy stuff from the shop on your base or something in a game, they always mark the price up a bit. instead of you going out to the shop in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, I'll think about it.
All right. Anybody else? All right. You, when ready, you ask, and you each they send you to the basic rooms they have available for all members. It's just a nice, simple room, small desk, set of drawers, bed, and you can claim it for as long as you're in residence. You all turn in, I guess. Hold on. And Blackfeather, I mean, you don't get much verbal response. Just kind of a getting to know you talk.
It's just nice to share with somebody. Doesn't matter if they respond.
Yeah. And you are very impressed. Yennefer is a good listener. And even a couple times when you say something and, you know, you would think the normal human response would give you a little advice, you don't get the words, but you get the sensation. You know, she understands what you're saying and is responding appropriately.
Nice. Let's tuck it.
All right. With that, you guys go to sleep. Uneventful night. I mean, you're in perceivably one of the most secure, although you don't know where, places in the world, with a bunch of highly trained, justice-seeking people protecting your sleep. So you sleep pretty well. You get up in the morning. Is there anything else you guys would like to buy from the Jaeger stock before you leave? Because you will not have access to it without going back up to Gate Town.
I will buy, let's say 3 vials of antitoxin.
Okay. Go ahead.
And 3 vials of holy oil.
Okay. Any sunstones? Any holy water? Thunderstones? Any of that stuff for anybody?
I'll take a flask of holy water.
Okay.
What did the sunstone do again?
It provides not only clean light, like it's sunlight, it stores sunlight, so it gives you a radius of 30 feet of sunlight, but also it creates sunlight, so any creatures that, say, have sunlight sensitivity would be affected by it.
Well, I heard the word sunlight there more than I've heard in a month.
Well, yes, it's important that you to note that it is sunlight, it is not just light.
I'll take one of those.
Alright, 2 gold.
Yeah.
Can I get 2 vials of acid and 2 vials of alchemist fire?
Of course you can. Go ahead, mark off the gold.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'll also purchase a Tanglefoot bag and 10 Tinder Twig.
Alright. Mark all those items in your inventories and deduct the amount of appropriate gold. Alright. As you guys are getting ready, Malmor, a young clerk comes up to you and says, if you could just sign these forms, sir, this will submit your case and get it started. And so, sign that off, and Malmor officially has a open contract to invest.
You guys want to take my contract?
Can we take multiple contracts at a time?
Normally you work one at a time, but the idea is with the contract existing, they will start researching, and once they have a direction to actually send resources in, like more than just investigating, they will actually contact Malmor and let him, either he can gather a team and take the contract himself, request others be put on it. So right now, basically, the resources of this giant information network have started combing through reports and such to start trying to gather information for you. Obviously, it's going to take a few days, at least, to even get you some preliminary information, possibly a little bit longer, as your order was not super reclusive, but not exactly, Hare Krishna at every airport or anything. Anybody else? Anything else you want to do while you're here?
Just re-up on regular components if we have to.
I would say half the cost of a components pouch, just to top off.
That was what, 20 copper last time?
Yeah, it was 20 copper, so 10 copper.
Cool.
Alright, if you're all ready to go, you head on back down. You get pointed in the direction of the right hallway, because a lot of them look alike. You find out that the captain is currently at the office. So you guys head down the hallway and knock, and you hear click, click, some movement. The door flashes a little, opens up. There's the captain and his secretary waiting for you. You all pile in, click, 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 flash again. You're all back in Gate Town. So, with that, Leo comes up to you and goes, so, unfortunately, from what little information the Dwarven Council, or the, what did I call it? The Samrin Saman, the Council of Many Brothers is what it translates to, was able to gather was only that the parts shipment was waylaid from a warehouse district and was taken into a non-populated section of the cave. There are unfortunately about 15 different mine entrances, potentially another 5 or 6 different other sub entrances. We're unsure of what group did it, or really any useful information. We're unsure if it's an inside job. We just do know that in this scenario, the only place it could have come out of is from Serbial itself, and as it is closely guarded by the information is closely guarded by the wizards and mostly the alchemists, artificers. It's possibly an inside job.
Yeah, I'm definitely suspicious of the Artificers Guild. I mean, there's no way they didn't have hands-on armor. They keep it as quite a tight secret.
So, for your first contract, you will start by investigating to find out who, if possible, or at least where the armor is being smuggled to, and if possible, find out who is at the other end of this affair. All right. Is there anything else I can help you guys with before you head out?
Anything?
No.
Like a place to start?
Well, at this point, I would say to head down to Serbial proper.
Serbial's a different town, right?
So, if...
Is
So, Uzra will be explaining this to you. You actually go up to the Spire of Descent, which actually has both a giant circular stairway going... Because the Spire of Descent is actually deeper than it is tall. It is where all traffic comes in and out of Serbial from the mountain range on this part. There's one other exit further north on the map, but that leads to a pass that has actually been collapsed due to Orc Band invasion, so that road leads to some smaller settlements out in the mountain, but eventually peters out. And then there is, of course, the main path that leads to the the gates at the waist, which Uzra, you know very well all of the stories and lore around the fighters that the last stand at the gate, and most of your people's history, fiction, everything revolves around the idea that you hold the only pass overland in and out of the wastes, and have kept the orc hordes at bay for countless generations. So pretty much the only trade route is through the Spire of Descent at this point. It is like I said, a large circular stairwell that leads around the outside of the spire, well, on the inside edge, and then there are multiple large and small mechanized lifts to take people up and down, and commodities up and down. So that is why this was originally called Gate Town, because it originally started that the Spire of Descent was literally just a gate to and from Serbial, but eventually a town grew up around it. So you guys head there, and as I described, you start descending the lift into Serbial proper. And as you descend, you see a massive open cavern with what appears to be quartz deposits in the ceiling that allow some natural sunlight to filter down and through. Surprisingly, you see a number, as you descend, of tuber crops and other low-light plants that actually provide Serbial with some of its own natural farming. Additionally, you see some pastures of what look more like crab-like creatures, and it seems that is a small source of meat that the population of Serbial does not pay for to be imported and such. Additionally, you see an underground river, which is a source of fresh water and defense and internal trade among the different dwarven settlements throughout the underground mountains. Additionally, now with increased defense, Uzra, you know that the river, and I'm going to bring up a little generated map here that I've tried to start using. The river here actually goes underground at both points here and here, and following this river with the dwarven equivalent of a submersible is the only way to make it to and from the gate into the wastes. So it's another security measure to keep the Orcan hordes out. At this point, you guys finish descending in the mechanized elevator and come to the customs office. As you step up, you see a very old gentleman there. Hold on. Here we go. You all walk up. Yes, may I help you?
We're looking for entrance to Surreal.
Your name, please?
Uzra Tinderbeard.
Yes, hold on. And he turns over, and you see what appears to be a sheet of metal in front of him, and what appears to be closest equivalent I can give you without trying to make up fantasy jargon for it is a typewriter keyboard. And he types in Uzra Tinderbeard, and the metal seems to warp and shift like a ferro fluid, and you see a roughly engraved picture of Uzra there with a bunch of dwarven runes. He goes, anarchist Uzra. Yes. Yes, of course, you are, of course, welcome as a citizen of Serbia to enter and leave as you will. So, of course, you may go ahead. Next.
My name is Altgrind.
Go ahead.
Okay, clickety click click. I have nothing in my records here. Are you applying for a visa?
I would like to, yes, and if it helps.
Oh, okay, hold on. And he reaches down and he says, now you'll have to fill out Form 34B, and you'll need to take that over to the assayers of rightful entry. Then, and he's form.
I'd like to show the badge.
Oh, hold. You are one of a Jaeger. Yes, hold on one moment. He reaches down and brings out this little, looks like a wand, kind of runes on it. He kind of dusts it off a little bit. Can you please present that here?
Aye.
And he slowly passes the wand over it, and it just a soft light. Yes, I see you do have an active contract. One moment. And he places it in front of the keyboard itself, and Dwarven text rolls through. He goes, one moment. And you see these thick spectacles he's adjusting. All right. That does all seem to be in order. You of course may go ahead.
I'd like to say thank you in Dwarvish as well.
Okay. Oh, there seems to be... Oh, one moment, sir. Our records do not indicate what group within the Jaegers you are part of. Are you an independent contractor? Or if this is all... For records, you understand, we must understand if we are to reference you in any billing or claims against the Jaeger Association. It is very difficult to reference each of you individually. Is there something, a code name or department name you go by?
Bond. J.
Blackfeather, Uzra, Pourquoi. Help.
I was just going to get my servial visa back.
Cervical.
Cervical.
Because I have one. It's where we all handed visas.
Yep.
Let's
Well,
just use those and get in.
You were not.
We were not?
No.
Oh, we were.
You were handed the Mort Jaeger badges.
You said we would be provided visas.
They were processing the visas. And you
We don't have the visas yet, so why are we even here then if we don't have our visas?
Because
The badges are.
the visa, it's once you were declared as a active contract.
Oh, alright. Well, why wouldn't you just give your name then?
Well,
Any name.
he is asking that since apparently you are a group, what the group goes by in case any costs are incurred or bills must be sent to the Jaegers, as you are a group of representatives of them, and tracking down all your names is
Oh,
additional
you want
paperwork.
a group name? Oh,
I was subtly trying to go for that, you jerk.
It
You
wasn't
should have
subtle.
just asked for a group name, old man. Okay,
Call us
that was more
the
difficult.
Revengers.
The Prodigal Protectors is probably the easiest thing to go with. Let's just say that.
Why then we're the
You're-
prodigal protectors.
Oh God.
Right.
No, we're not.
This is
Revengers.
bureaucracy. I'll tell you what.
And he's watching as you're all arguing over this.
Is there any more red tape? Do you need a blood sample?
Adventure group.
Yeah, okay. I'm for venture group.
Adventure group?
Adventure. Yes.
Okay.
The,
So now we're the
I'd like to turn
Go.
with just by pivoting on one foot, just turn a 360 and look at all of you. Yes, adventure group.
Putting-
The adventure group.
The adventure group.
Oh, I see.
taking an adventure stance.
Not the adventure group. Adventure
Oh,
group.
I'm sorry. And as he slowly starts deleting every single... One moment. Adventure group. Straight to the point.
We are a group of simpletons.
That's okay. At least you have work. All right. If you could each present your badge as you go through to finish the process, and you may continue on. As you go through, he scans. Ding, ding, ding. All right. You guys have made it to Serbial. What do you want to do?
Weapon shop?
Are we done shopping now?
No shit.
It's up to you guys. I have no direction.
We didn't go in a weapon shop in the last city.
You're a whorehouse. We can visit again. Come on.
I have no direction to give you.
I,
guys.
friend, have no problem going to a whorehouse. I just assumed people were tired of those as well. Not me, though. Definitely not me.
Why not you?
Well, I'd like to make a stop at my
Go to
house.
a whorehouse? Oh, sorry.
Okay.
If I don't know if people want to stay in an inn or what, but you know, if there's room, we can
You
just
have free
like bunker
room?
down at my place.
Are you inviting us over? That's so sweet.
I would say,
Sleepover adventure.
Adventure, you might have to stoop a bit. Anybody at adventure height or close to, maybe stooping a little bit.
What's Adventure Hut?
I'm like
Adventure-
6'7", I think.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Jesus.
Remember,
big
this
boy. Hang on.
is a dwarven town made. This is the dwarven capital.
Oh, no. I put my height in my bio. I put my height at 6'4".
Okay. I would say, yeah, Malmore, Uzra, you'll be comfortable, of course. Anybody more than a foot taller than them is probably gonna need to stoop a little bit.
Is it free?
Consider the elves stooping.
Yeah.
Well,
And me, I'm just on my hands and knees.
well, Uzra, is it free? Is your father gonna charge them to stay?
Nah, not for one night. I mean, depending on what we deem necessary for the area, maybe. But
If you're wondering,
Dad?
yeah,
Nice. Family. This is good. We're connecting now.
so
We'll totally do this.
you guys are gonna be entering from about here.
hmm
And your place is just a slightly seedier part outside the main market district.
Yep.
Yeah, where shops are getting a little cheaper and not as upscale and hoity-toity.
definitely not.
All right, you guys start heading over to Uzra's childhood home. Along the way, he points out at least the sights to be seen, I would say, in that general area. So, points out the market district, the Waterlock in the distance, points out the Clockwork Arena, where there are many of either a sporting event or fighting tourney, both in and out of Clockwork Armor. And point in the direction the main council chamber for the Dwarven Ruling Council, which is these buildings here.
Where's the Artificer Guild?
Their main guild house is actually going to be that building there, and in that building, and then their main research is right off of there, because over the centuries, with being the main source of Clockwork Armor, they have gained a lot of notoriety and clout.
Bunch of assholes over yonder.
Pretty much.
Suppose that is our job now.
All right, so you guys head on over.
Is it business hours?
I would
when
say,
we get
well,
there?
you guys headed out first thing in the morning, so it's probably about 8 or 9 o'clock. I would say, if not, I mean, your dad probably is a little bit of an early riser. He's a bit older. You were a child in the later years of his life. I would say he's probably up, if not open for business yet. So,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna put this on you, big guy, so that you
Yeah.
guys walk on up. And what does your house look like?
So the shop is, it appears just to be the one floor, and it's standard shop looking thing, but the residence itself is actually the floor below the shop floor, so it's not really visible from what you can see here, but it's a pretty small shop. It looks pretty worn. Inside, as we enter, there's all kinds of just odds and ends, miscellaneous goods. Not so much in like a general store sense, but more in like a tinkering or curiosities kind of sense.
A magical toaster repair shop, kind of.
Yeah, like odd job kind of contraptions. Not necessarily the most useful things, but interesting.
What's the shop's name?
Ripley's, believe it or not.
No, it's the Talarian Smithy.
Larry Smithy. Not a bad little place. So you own all of this?
Well, me and my dad, family business.
All right, so you've walked. You pull out the classic, overly thick, heavy dwarven key. Like unlocking the back door of the Lonely Mountains sort of key here. You walk on in. The shop is silent.
Okay, I'll shout out. Just call out, Dad.
Oh, Uzi!
Hello.
Uzi, hold on! Uzi, hold on! Oh. And up this thunk, thunk, thunk. You hear a slightly slower gait, like taking one step at a time easily. And as his head pops up from behind the counter, you see an older, shorter dwarf, white hair. This is an older dwarf in his later years. Oh, boy, you're back. I thought you'd be gone much longer. Well, welcome home. Come here. Come here. Give your old man a hug.
All right.
Oh,
I'll saunter over.
Oh, you brought customers, friends.
Friends.
You don't owe
so-
them money, do you?
No.
Okay, good. Hello.
On the contrary. So everyone, this is my father, Baron, owner of the shop.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Oh, hello, young lady.
Hi.
Well, hi. How's the weather up there, big guy?
Low ceilings in this city.
I know.
It must be awful for you.
Well, that's not that bad, but on behalf of some even the stuffier ones that wouldn't say it, I'm sorry we don't accommodate more for you big folk.
Yeah, I had hit my head on the way in.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Happens a lot.
It would. It looks like you look like you're doing okay though.
Mm-hmm. Hard-headed, one might say.
Knocks his own head. You don't have to tell me about that. Oh, I'm sorry, dear. And he sees Shyla stooping, goes over and grabs a stool and brings it out for Uzi. You should have offered the lady a seat.
Uzi.
Roll my eyes. I'll
I saw
introduce
that, Uzi.
I'll introduce everyone individually.
All right,
Aaron.
and then he goes around shaking hands, and you can see there's a little tremor to his hands, but it's firm grip, like a working man's grip. Nice to meet you all.
Just like to say hi in Dwarven, surprise them.
Oh, a little rough, friend, but good.
Yeah.
I mean, no, very good. A lot of people don't
Can I-
bother. Ooh, what's?
Can I give you a hug like Uzi?
Oh, sure. Come here, lad.
Is this what it's like to have parents?
Pat.
Jesus Christ.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
Cry every time.
What's that interesting? And unfortunately, at this point, he's noticed. Bird. Will you behave? Okay. But and he's doesn't care anymore. He has seen that thing on Ulgran's shoulder, and he is like, like his fingers are moving a little bit. He's like, hello, you pretty little thing, you.
This is Basil.
Hello, Basil. Ooh.
Uzi, if you would show your father your documents.
Yeah, I'll pull out the notebook and
And he-
show him some of the basic schematics and
And,
stuff I've
Of
written.
course, at this point, he has turned into the worst host ever. He's ignored all. He's like, "Oh, yes, I see."
Yeah.
And you move that. Ooh. Now, and he leans back over you. Now, Uzi, if we would replace this with maybe a composite metal, it could bring the price down. This could be something. Though I would have to go to the Office of Patents to make sure. Ooh.
No, the problem's the core. That's much harder to replicate.
Well, and he flips completely. He's just oh. But he starts writing some notes himself on another piece of it. I'm sorry. And he make a copy for me before you leave. That is very interesting. Yes. Would anyone like something to drink? I'd happily go downstairs and make some tea. If you all would like to follow me down. Uzi, bring the stool for her.
Absolutely. I was also thinking if we still have the storeroom fairly cleared out.
Unfortunately, yes. Business is not what it once was. So yes, there is a bit of space.
Okay. We don't know how long we're going to be in the city. We'll explain.
Okay, sure, excellent, sure. I do have some time before we open, and if you let me know what you're here for, I'm happy to try to help. And he totters on down. You all come on down. Just it almost might be easier for the large one to step over the counter instead of going. Just please don't break some of the stuff up there is very old, and I think that used to be someone's. They never came and picked it up. I don't know, but just come on downstairs. And he heads off downstairs.
All right. I'll lead the way down.
I want to. I was gonna ask you to roll a dexterity check there for me eventually, but you just sure. Yep. And so it's a simple sitting room. I mean, in no way is it opulent, but you can tell there's a sitting room, storage room off the back, an actual kitchen, a WC, a water closet, and the two bedrooms that Uzra's and his father's. So he's tinkering over the. One moment, I'll have some more tea on in a moment. If you all want to tell me what's going on, I can try to listen from here. Make yourselves as comfortable as you can. I'm sorry, my large friend. I do not suggest sitting on this sedan sofa. I don't know if it could handle you.
Floor.
I'm sorry. Uzi, go get the pillows from your room. At least make your guests comfortable.
I'm gonna haul out the the small anvil with a couple of cushions and sort of make a makeshift chair for adventure.
Okay.
And then sort of just put cushions otherwise on the floor and stuff
All right.
as I can. as he's making tea and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, at his Rube Goldberg style counter.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely Honey, I Shrunk the Kids set up in there, and as he starts it going, you can see he's like, as he watches it work.
I'll explain. Long story short, we are now part of the Jaegers.
Oh. A little rough, those boys, but I mean, they do what needs to be done sometimes.
Very true. We're actually in Surreal as part of a contract that was given to us right away. We're investigating some clockwork armor had actually been smuggled outside that we happened upon.
You hear some clattering. Goes, no, what? What?
I know.
No. No, that shouldn't be possible. Oh,
And yet, all the same,
what is this world coming to?
I'm personally under the opinion that Bronzejaw has something to do with it, but
Well,
I'll stay open-minded.
well, I mean, just what have I always told you? Always look for what is actually happening, not what you think is happening. Even if what you think is happening is an unconscionable ass. But it may be. You may want to look into him, or I would hate to think if this all went all the way up to Frosna Mudbelt herself. That is the head of the Artificers Guild.
Bronzejaw's one of the higher executives, if I recall.
Technically her personal assistant,
Yeah.
but the position is kind of like aide or secretary to. It's got some.
He's got a lot of pull, and he's a big ass.
Assistant to the regional manager.
Yeah, pretty much.
I would say assistant to the regional manager. Yeah, like
Guild president.
yeah, almost vice president, but not quite. But the treasurer, like. So how can I help, lad?
Well, I'm sure we're going to be in and out of here quite often, probably just as a place to sort of talk about things. We're going to be investigating around the city, so we might ask for some connections. I'm not the most, let's say, accepted individual in the city these days, with some of the people we might need to ask questions about.
Eventually, people will come around. It's okay, but yes. And he's absently. He's muttering himself. He starts passing out some tea. Now, I don't know about any illegitimate contacts. I mean, you'll definitely want to speak to those in the underbelly, if you will, a bit, but you may. Now, do they have any idea how they got out of the city? Was there any idea they thought of how it got out of the city?
Yeah, they told us that, right? Do you guys remember?
It's theorized to be either an old mine, or someone is smugglers are actively using a mine to try that recently breached an exit, was the guess.
But did they locate the mine?
No.
Or... Okay, so...
Let's see. You may want to check out... I mean, the largest mine would be over on the West Territory, you may want to look in the Body Miner. Few of my old friends work there. They may have heard something. I mean, as you know, I started as a miner and got out, but a lot of our friends and family still work out there. And I think the mines out in the Northwest region are some of the only ones large enough to possibly move a large amount of items through. You probably want to investigate with the Artificers Guild itself. Besides that, I mean, you may have to ask around a bit and investigate. I mean, I don't know, but I would say
Do you think
miners
we
might
should-
know.
do you think we should visit the Six Samurai Simon, try to get an audience?
I mean, you could always attempt to get an audience with the head artificer. I mean, you do have a bit of leeway now to be able to do that.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I prefer to usually start with the easiest ones to talk to.
So check out the tavern first.
Tavern.
You all
Yes.
like your ale.
Oh, all right. While you are all talking about this, Blackfeather, if you'd like to hop in the whispers with me, because you are. Make a quick stealth check for me, though.
I'm not trying to be stealthy.
Oh, okay. You all noticed Blackfeather had walked away during the discussion. But,
He does that.
All right, hopping in the whisper. Yeah. So you call up, ring, 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 ring. Connects, and a slightly bluish, little faded image of Irian appears. Ah, hello, darling. I hadn't
Hello.
heard from you in a while. I thought you were ignoring me.
I apologize for that. I have been out of town, unfortunately, doing the deeds, as it were.
Oh,
I
well,
do.
business is business.
I have found myself actually down in Serial.
What are you doing with the old rock breakers?
Well, it's against my better judgment, but I am actually trying to find some sort of contact with the smugglers down here, and I was wondering if you had any contacts for me.
Well, for you, Blackfeather, I'll make some calls. Just what exactly are you involved with down there, if I might ask?
I've been put on a job to find some smugglers taking stuff out of the mine, some very illegal stuff.
Oh,
And
what sort
there
of
may be
illegal?
some profit involved with it.
What sort of illegal? This sounds intriguing.
It's politically damaging. I'm not sure you really want to know about it.
I understand, but a little hint. Let me know what what waters I'm sticking my toes in here.
Well, let's just say it has something to do with the Artificers Guild.
If we're talking about what I think we're talking about, you've heard the adage, Blackfeather, that a thief's best friend is peace, right?
Peace? No, not really. I'm not very
Oh.
peaceful.
Well,
You know
as-
me.
as
I
you-
cause a ruckus everywhere I
well,
go.
no, chaos is all fun, and thievery is all well and good, but wartime is not a profitable time for our kind. Everybody gets antsy and jumpy and looks after their stuff.
I understand.
There's certain lines we don't like to cross to upset the status quo. And if someone's smuggling those out, it's lucky you called me. One of the biggest heads of the thieving guild is actually a fence. His name is Akan. Bone Grip. It's lucky you contacted me because he usually won't meet with anybody unless the right overtures are made. Give me a few hours, and one of his little birds will find you and let you know where to meet.
That's as much as I can ask. I appreciate it. I
No.
definitely.
I've heard a rumor that you, in your travels, you have some new friends. Are they in the know? Can they be trusted?
I'm just getting to know them right now, but we're all bound together pretty securely at this point.
All right. I will mention them to Akan. He does not like surprises. He may wish to speak to all of you, or just you. I don't know what that.
It would be best if he contacted me personally. I mean, I can definitely bring the group along, but please don't contact them directly.
No. You will be contacted with a time and a place to meet.
Excellent. Yeah, that's all I can ask for. I really appreciate that.
All right, darling. Now, if you do find anything interesting while this is all going on, please don't forget me. I'd love to take a few things off your hands and move some...
Oh, you know me. I don't have idle fingers.
Oh. Now, don't stay away too long. It's been a little boring lately, and you were a great source of amusement last time.
I'll take that as a pleasant overture.
Thank you, dear. And you'll be hearing from a contact in some time.
Wonderful. Thank you again, Aaron.
Goodbye, dear.
Click.
Why did you just throw an axe into the fire? A perfectly good axe into the fire.
He does that. It's
What? What? Rewind a minute here?
All you need to know, considering you didn't hear our conversation, is I just took a perfectly good axe and tossed it into, assuming there is a fireplace, the fireplace.
Yeah, and why?
You don't need to know, old man.
No, actually, I do.
Me and Altgren were talking about branding ourselves, mainly me. I
Oh.
might try to brand him if he wants to.
he wants to get in on the action.
So at this point,
Just start branding each other.
your father's just what are you doing?
He does this. It's...
Look at me.
Uzi, get your friends under control. And you walk back into a conversation about branding, and poor elderly man looking very confused at this point.
I just asked about tattooing. No one seems to be able to do it, so branding was the next best thing.
All right.
Adventure, we'll talk later.
All right. So, where would you guys like to go from here?
So we had a question about if the sleep counted as a long rest when we were over.
Oh, yeah. When you were there, yes, of course, that was a long rest. Sorry. I thought that was understood.
It
All
seemed
right.
that way. We just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, if I say you guys go to sleep, yeah, that's a long rest.
Cool.
Alrighty. So where to?
Well,
I'm heading to the tavern.
yeah, it's still pretty early in the day, so
Yeah, I'd say you're
it's pretty far, but
So you guys, you're heading towards the Body Miner.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
a minor problem here.
All right.
Fetch that axe out of the fire.
All right. It's. I would say it's getting about to be 10 o'clock. So, your father's ready to open up shop. He's going to ask a couple of acquaintances he knows in the basically what's called the visitors ward, which is this area here. If you can get some human and elven sized cots to put in the storeroom, that way you guys can at least sleep a little more comfortably. The storeroom's big enough for you guys. It's actually a decent sized room.
It
Probably
was like a warehouse of
I
of
would
sorts at one time.
I would say not quite warehouse size, but like about back room of a large store almost size, you know, like pretty big and pretty high ceilinged. Looks like it was set up to be able to have high shelves for storage. All right, you guys head on outside. You're contemplating the walk. Hey, Uzra, roll a history check for me. All right, you guys are walking for about an hour, so you make it, up here. You get to most of the way to the main central square, and what's every roll a group perception check for me.
Oh man, feeling perceptive today.
Pourquoi, Uzra, an adventure. You all hear a humming and kind of rhythmic clacking noise, and then it hits you, Uzra. Right, you could have taken the glide rail from the market district over to the north end of the miners' quarter.
How long had we been walking?
Over an hour.
I had definitely branded myself at least twice.
Okay. Hold on. What? Take 6 points of damage.
Great. That punch to the gut negated. Hoorah! Branding.
So, Uzar, you remember, there's basically the Dwarven Arcanic equivalent of a monorail. The city's large enough. There is
Yeah, it's full of bums anyways.
You can pay a couple coppers and ride the rest of the way to the from about here to about here in under 5-10 minutes.
Go on time.
Alright. Let's find the nearest station and
Alright. You guys get on. What'd I say? A couple coppers apiece?
no, you said it was free.
No, I said a couple coppers.
Must misheard.
Alright. And you guys get a nice view of the city. It's a sprawling city in the act of growth. You can tell since this is where basically a good half of the Magitech right now comes from. The city always seems to be in a state of perpetual evolution. Buildings are being retrofitted all the time, torn down, built new equipment's going up. I mean, you don't see a single building without residuum lights. There's the frickin' glide coach, the elevator that got you down here. You see even some what would be the arcanic equivalent of light up signs, but since they're like perpetual minor illusion spells, they like move and kind of like what am I thinking? Blade Runner. You know, the very in your face moving advertisements a bit. And as you get further out, the gaudiness starts to go away. you start seeing less and less wealth and more just slums, a little worn down. Like, this is the lower income area, working class sort of people. And as you get off the station, you can see for maybe another set of houses a little further down there, the residuum lines continue to run, and then that last set, it looks like they haven't quite reached there. But a long, lone line runs all the way out here to the Body Miner Tavern. Now, Uzra, you've heard of the Body Miner Tavern because it is actually a tavern owned by the miners themselves. A lot of the small clusters of buildings that are right outside of mining entrances, as I'm lighting them up, they're company owned and run. So, prices are gouged. It's pretty bad in some ways. But the Body Miner, though, right up against the company town buildings, miner owned and miner run. So it's a little bit of an island there. So it can be a little bit of a rough place. You, of course, I'm guessing, share what information you have with the group.
Yeah.
All right. How do you all proceed?
Through the door.
Let's try not to get in another bar fight.
Aww.
What bar fight?
Yeah, that's true. If you all remember, Ulgran walked in on a guy with a hole in his leg and a silent room.
It was his shoulder.
It was the leg.
No, I shot him in the shoulder.
You shot him in the leg.
I shot him in the shoulder.
I
That
will.
was me. I got shot in the shoulder.
Yeah. All right. So you guys walk in, and this is the furniture's old boxes and plank wooding, and there seems to be. It's pretty big, like a one-story building, but sprawled out. Appears to be a fighting pit in there. I mean, hey, there's the bar, fighting pit, a bedraggled musician over to the side playing some music for you. And it seems on the, not right by the fighting pit, but at least over to the left of it is a few gambling tables. Looks like this services a lot of vices, especially even though it's a bit early in the morning. There's a decent crowd and a few ladies seeming to work the bar for a little extra coin. What do you all do?
Roll an insight. Just to see what's happening around the room.
I would say, without something like a specific, I would say perception would be a little more accurate.
Okay, that's fine.
Insight's more to get like an individual's motivation. Oh, all right. This is you can definitely tell this is especially with some of your experience with bars over the years, Malmore. This is the early morning crowd. These are either the guys coming off the late shift, or that handful group that comes here that has no shift. And they'll be here probably most of the day if they don't get themselves kicked out. So it's not quite in full swing yet, but it's a little quieter than you probably would have found at any other time, like a little more sedate even for the size of the crowd. You see plenty, Blackfeather.
Plenty.
You see messages back and forth all over talking about different meeting times. Couple times you see some older looking messages talking about city guard patrols coming through. You see a lot of evidence that you're not surprised at all by the idea that the Thieves Guild knows where you are if they're going to come looking for you. You've been marked if they're looking for you, and they know where to find you.
I'd like to go to the bar to have a drink,
All right, cozy on up.
but I want to sit next to one of the other patrons.
Alrighty. You sit
I'll
on
walk
down.
up to the bar as well, but just wherever.
Basically, you're spreading out to try to start fishing.
Yeah, I'd like to sit next to a patron and, as I order a drink, start up a conversation.
Alright. Talking to a miner. He just got off the night shift. I would say do a basic charisma check. No, you don't need to do save. Just it's D20 plus your charisma. So I think if you just click charisma, it should just give you the check. There you go.
Wrong one.
All right. I mean, you're a little awkward, but you know he's come off a long night. You're working there a little bit. I want to say maybe throw a couple drinks at him and try again in a bit before trying to apply too much information out of him. Uzra, you striking up a conversation?
Yeah, you said there was not just one bartender?
There's actually 3 bartenders behind the bar. It's a long bar. And there's a couple barmaids, and I would say there's about 15 to 20 people, like patrons in the bar right now, but you can tell this place can handle a lot more.
I want to strike up a conversation with one of the bartenders, the one who looks most free, and just sort of, mention that I'm back in town after being away. Any going on, any news, general stuff that's been happening worth knowing. And I'll put a silver down for payment with the beer.
Alright, babies will be beaten sentence. I will get back to that in a moment, Adventure. Hold on. Alright, so, you introduce yourself to the barman seems free. His name's, Gamma Smeltmaster. Older man. Roll a history check. At advantage, because, you just roll it again. You don't need to hit advantage. And we'll take the higher. Alright, yeah. You talking a little bit. You don't know how, you don't see yourselves as being, directly related, but you have family and friends in common distantly in the area, so you start getting an inroad there, and he welcomes you back, asked how it was in the higher altitudes, if you're a little lightheaded, like the rest of the people who live up there.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I definitely prefer the safety of having the closed-in walls over that big open sky.
You two commiserate a bit. You start talking, and he doesn't take the copper. He actually kind of just pours you another one and slides the silver back with it. Like he's you know enough of the right people. He's at least right now. He's just you're making good inroads.
All right.
While that is going on, is that something you actually say, Adventure, or were you just quoting SpongeBob to be hilarious?
The latter.
Okay.
While in just about any other situation, I probably would say that or some version of that. I'm not going to. Actually, I'd like to ask you who is the strongest. Well, I suppose either patron or bartender in the room. Like where is he? And I want to go sit next to him. Biggest, strongest living thing.
Make a perception check.
Uh-oh.
All right, I am feeling perceptive today. See?
All right. You see a somewhat dirty miner, actually, I would say tall for a dwarf and pretty ripped. Sitting down at the end, almost near the absolute end of the bar. I want to say actually closer to the fighting pit. Like he's near the end of the bar that's closest to the fighting pit.
I'd like to walk up to him and challenge him to an arm wrestle. And the winner buys a drink.
Okay. So you walk up, tap on the... Oi! What the fuck do you want?
This massive guy. Hello.
He doesn't fucking care. He's a dwarf. He's perpetually pissed off about something.
That's true.
So, you challenge him. Go ahead. Challenge him to an arm wrestling competition.
Hey, this is gonna sound strange. I know you don't know me, but do you got a little challenge for you?
Less confident in that.
I was gonna say, roll a persuasion.
I can make it
I'm
yours.
not exactly a detective, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but you could sell trying to get the guy to arm wrestle you a little more.
I have a check. Whatever.
You found the biggest, strongest guy, and then went, "Hey, excuse me, sir. May I possibly inconvenience you for a good old round of competition in the way of a
You, me, arm wrestle. Winner gets a drink.
All right.
2 drinks.
Please critically fail your strength roll.
All right. He's looking at you, and he's like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? I've just got off shift. Why am I gonna arm wrestle you? 2 drinks?"
What's your favorite ale?
And he looks at you, and he looks back to the bartender. He goes, "Bumbuck Stout." And bartender goes, "Lad, that's nearly 20 silver a pint."
Whew. Done.
I start playing a tune,
All right.
saying Adventure's name over and over again. Adventure, 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 and give me inspiration.
All right, take your 1d6 inspiration.
I have to roll that?
Well, no, you keep it aside, and if for some reason you feel you need it on a roll, you can use it.
I think I'm gonna use it on this roll.
Well, so
You can choose after your roll.
Yeah, you
Okay.
two sit down, and all right.
Do we have a
bring
crowd
you-
here?
Yeah, hey, like bartender calls it out, says, someone's challenged Thori Blood Grip."
Had to pick the guy whose name was Blood Grip.
Blood
Did you
grip.
just come up with that on a whim? Because that's a brilliant name.
No, even better, that is what my NPC generator gave me.
What?
Yup.
Ragnall's Earthworm.
What did you say your name was?
Thori arm wrestling winner.
Thori Blood Grip, boy.
They don't call me Thori Blood Grip for nothing.
And as you two sit down, classic, like, and what you didn't realize is over in the betting area, they have an honest to God, like, arm wrestling table, like, with the handhold for the other hand. They sit down, like, over the top style. You two sit down, face each other. If ball caps were a thing, he'd turn it around, you know.
I pull up my bear pelt over my face or over my head.
And you guys go in, you know, lock thumbs, lock fingers, and you can just see scar upon layer of scar on the top. Like, this guy, he's a
Seen
fighter.
some shit.
He's a scrapper. He's worked most of his 128 years in the mine. He's a fucking beast.
All right.
So, bartender comes out, puts his hand on top of your hands, and goes, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. So, go ahead and make a strength check. Oh.
I fucking killed him.
Natural 20.
Rip his arm off.
Alright, hold on.
I was very tempted.
Man. All right, hold on.
I was incredibly tempted to rage just for this arm wrestle.
You can. That is up to you.
I don't think it's
All right.
I think I can't really top that.
So you guys go from dead center and you both tense a second, and then you just start moving down. You know, from the 11 o'clock position down to like the 9 o'clock position, and you're holding there, and his hand's a little bit above it. Go ahead and roll another strength check. No, check, not save.
It's the same. It's a D20 plus strength.
No, because your strength modifier is not +5.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
No problem. Oh. I'm giving you the first one because that was a natural 20, so let's see what his is. Oh! He's just
back up to the even.
No, the 3/4 position. You know,
Favoring him?
No, still favoring you a little bit because you nearly had him like from the get-go. You nearly wham, but he pulls it back up to the 3/4 position. Go ahead and
this is intense.
roll another strength check, sir. Oh, all right.
Back down.
Back down. Oh, you're holding it. All right, go ahead, roll another strength check. And wham!
Boom!
God, he rolled for shit.
It was a long day.
And he looks at you and he's like, you come back before my shift starts tonight. We'll do this again. Get him around. And he takes you, even though, you know, he's a lot shorter than you, he still grabs you by the shoulder, starts dragging you towards the bar, and you're kind of like, not wanting to just stand up and knock the guy off. Yeah, you know, you're kind of like the crouch walking over so he can keep his arm on your shoulder. Go ahead and I want you to make a charisma check at advantage and then a persuasion check at advantage.
Charisma and persuasion? Okay. I'm sorry, I'm still really slow at this.
No, dude, don't worry about it.
You said persuasion and charisma?
First charisma and then persuasion. At
I got
advantage.
the saving throw. Oh.
If you want, I can roll them for you quick if you want. All right, it's an awkward conversation, like really awkward. But you know what? He's bought a couple rounds of drinks. He's a little tired, a little knackered at the end of his day. Your persuasion pulled you out of it, so not exactly the most subtle, but you know, adventure sleuth, private investigator that you are. You go, hey. Some guys sneaking stuff in the mines. And, you know...
Fuck's up with that?
Yeah. And he goes, right. I know.
What? Specs.
That's it.
No. All he knows for sure as you two are talking is that there was some talk of some guys slipping stuff in and out of an abandoned mine formerly owned by the Silverfoots. It's now abandoned. Nobody's using it anymore, but there has been some hinky stuff coming in and out of that. Now, you're obviously not around there, so go ahead and make a... You know what? You just go ahead and ask him. And what he ends up telling you is that the abandoned Silverfoot mine used to be right here. Now, that's pretty close to the mine you guys are the body miners closest to. Now, as you two are talking, he says, oh, you know, it's not uncommon for some of these mines as they go in and out of favor and as families buy very specific chunks and routes within the mountain that you run into old, forgotten, or disused mines as you're trying to clear your claim, looking for veins. And that's about as much as you get out of him at this point. I mean, you two are having fun talking, but the man's been in the mines for a long time, so you notice some stuff, but he's getting too old for this shit. He's getting close to retirement, you know. Mm-hmm. So we're going to head on back to Malmore. I want you to make a charisma check for me. Damn! He's your best friend.
2 drinks in, switch is flipped.
He lost his parents too. He's getting sad in his beer, and he's very impressed with how much you're able to drink. So I want you to go ahead and make a persuasion check at advantage. Oh, you can roll again, my friend. I said advantage, so just roll one more time. Oh, you start asking questions about the mine, and he just starts clamming up a bit. Like, he may love you like a brother, but you're looking into the mines. I mean, he lets slip a little. There's something going on, but he needs this job. So we're gonna head on back to Uzra now. Go ahead and make a charisma check for me, buddy. Alright, I mean, you haven't alienated him. He doesn't hate you, and bartender's talking to you a bit, and, you know, like, you still have a little bit of clout with him because you're a hometown boy. You know, he knew your father. Guy did better for himself and his family, so I want you to go ahead and make a persuasion check. If you leave the silver on the table, it's with advantage.
Yeah, it's still there.
All right.
Persuasion.
All right. He mentions that the foreman of the main mine out here has been known to take some bribes on the side. I mean, she's she's kind of honest, but you know, she will with the right overtures and the right amount of money look the other way sometimes. You know, maybe some not quite residuum grade stones go missing, you know, whatever. But she may be someone you want to talk to.
What was the name?
The name of the foreman is Agatha Frosthand. She won't be hard to recognize. She's an albino.
She the wife of Bloodgrip?
No. Though they dated for a while, it did not go well. She's a lot younger than he is, but she's an albino dwarf, so she won't be too hard to track down.
And she's the foreman?
Mm-hmm.
Forewoman?
Mm-hmm.
4-person?
Alright. Shyla, Altgrand, you guys have been pretty quiet.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking around for the most grizzled, oldest dwarf in the room.
Alright. Make a perception check for me. Yeah, yeah. You see the old bar fly, about halfway between Olkerand and Uzra, sitting at the bar. What do you
Yep.
do?
I'll go up and just kind of greet him and ask him if he knows Uzra's dad.
Talking a little bit. Yeah, he knows him. Apparently kicked his ass once, but as you talk to him a little bit longer, he says he's kicked everybody's ass. Make a charisma check for me. Alright, for an elf, you're not bad. Do you buy him a drink?
Yeah, whatever the good beer was that I heard.
Okay. How much did I say that was?
20 silver.
20
Yeah.
silver.
It's aged for a very long time, so there's not a lot of it. Yeah, you buy him one of those. It doesn't matter how uncharismatic you are. You're his friend right now. You two. He starts talking away, telling you some stories and stuff of back in the day. Blackfeather, somewhat tired, pissed off barmaid comes up to you, not really smiling. You just, what do you want? What can I get for you?
I'll take an ale.
All right, ale it is. She heads off. All right, Algren. These old codger's telling you some stories. Make a persuasion check. Try to get him to tell you some stories about the local mine. All right. He tells you some stories about some miners that struck it big there. How they found one time he was on a cross route similar to the one they're running out there, and they said they found a path into the underrealms, which he tells you is where them dark dwarves and elves are from, but they had to keep it secret, so they bought out that part of the mine and caved it in and told nobody that they had found a path down there. You know, like a tall tale about some sort of creature they saw one time down there that looked like pudding but moved around. But yeah, a lot of tall tales. You know, they sound like they have a little bit of a, like, he believes them, but you don't know if it's he believes them because he's told them so many times he has to believe them, or if any part of them are true.
Okay.
Blackfeather, your waitress comes back and puts the tankard down and asks for 3 copper for the ale.
I give her a silver.
As she takes it, you see very quickly she just sleight of hand and it's gone. And in her fingers is a small piece of paper that she slips under your cup as she's putting it down, and she walks away.
Nice. I carefully slip it into my palm and read it.
It says, alley beside what's your father's name again, Uzra? I'm blanking the second. And
Baron.
Baron. Baron's shop. Midnight. Bring your friends. You'll be brought to me.
Got it. All right.
Shyla, are you just enjoying the ambiance, or would you like to do anything else?
I'm just making merry.
All right. All right. As you guys wind down, spend a couple hours, Altgren, you find out that the fighting pit usually doesn't open until after the end of the first shift and before the second shift starts. Just that way they get the biggest crowd. At this point, I want to say probably after a couple hours, getting there, spending some time. It's getting on until about like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What would you guys like to do?
When does the fighting pit open?
Not for another like 4 or 5 hours yet.
I'd still like to see some intricate weapons.
All right. Adventure would like to do a quick shopping trip.
I mean, I could stand to do some shopping as well. What do you say, we go around the city shopping as part of like a downtime for next session? And
Yeah, if you guys want to put your shopping list together and send it to me, I can let you know how much everything would cost. If any of you want to roll like persuasions to try to get a discount or anything, we'll take care of that there. Anything else you guys want to do? I mean, it is about midnight, and unfortunately, I got a couple more things you can do before.
Shiloh's punking out here. She's
Yeah.
I think 12's might cut off too. So
Yeah. No worries. All right, pretty RP heavy session tonight, but I hope you all had fun.
yeah,
All right, so some clues have been gotten, some new friends for some of you, companions, and a new subterranean city to explore and smugglers to find.
Yay!
sounds good.
All right, everybody, thanks for playing.
yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Good game.
Are we gonna talk about next session time right now, or will we?
I'm gonna suggest standard 2 weeks from today, but you can all message me if that doesn't work.
Cool.
I'll hammer you all with messages probably by Monday or Tuesday.
All right.
All right,
Good
guys.
session.
Later, adventure group. Here.
And the adventure group. Well, sorry, adventure group.
It's like you can't say the
Well, hey, Pourquoi made a point of it.
adventure group.
Adventure group.
Adventure group.
Adventure Group LLC down the road.
And
You guys-
we're a full liability company.
Adventure Group LLC, the Fellowship of the Adventure.
Adventure Prodigal Protectors Group Variety Hour.
Yeah. All right, guys. You have a good night.
Night.
Night.